Shut up. Shut your goddamn mouth. Hi. Welcome to Latchkey Kid and Gutter Girl. I'm Latchkey Kid, Val. This is Gutter Girl.
I'm Violet.
Yeah. And this is our fucking guest.
And I'm Ron.
Ron. Anyway, this is episode 1.5, because the prior episode was a Blue Jean Blunderbuss, which we have decided is, like, when we're drunk, but, like, one of the original hosts is not here. And last night, it was me who was here. Val.
Hello, my name is 3 Shots of Tequila, and I just drank Ron.
Okay, don't do that. You were doing that last night, with, like, the chair.
Yes, I was.
The heater shut off.
What?
I'm a problem.
No, it's just, like,
The heater shut off.
Yeah, it did, like, a while ago.
Good.
A while ago. Anyway, okay, Ron, you were saying something just before then. We were talking about how Violet really looks like a violet. You know, like, you wouldn't
Indeed.
say someone who's, like pale and, like, really blonde, like even a strawberry blonde. You wouldn't describe them as, like, a violet, because, you know, it's like a dark color. You wouldn't see that really going together. But there was this really cool, like, hair thing that I found it was supposed to, like, turn blonde hair purple in the light. It was super expensive, but
What the heck?
yeah, doesn't that sound cool though?
That sounds like putting a pearlescent paint job on your Camaro, except for a woman.
Yeah,
It's pretty trippy.
it would be really cool, but like I wish there was more to it. Like I wish there was more than one, just like purple, and like your hair has to be blonde.
It's probably really difficult to make those things chemically, so I can't blame them for not having big variety.
They have that new thing. Like we really are living in the future because they have like heat, color changing hair. It has like it can be like this when it's you see people putting their hands on their heads and it's like an imprint of their hand. And it's
Oh
really
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I don't like hair dye.
Why? Because of the smell or just like
No,
chemicals
because it's covering up who you are naturally, and also it like damages your hair's health in the long term.
I don't know. I feel like hair dye is one of those things that makes your personality come out more. Like, I don't
No.
think you're trying to hide something of yourself. You're trying to show people, like, oh, this is how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Or, like, it's really cathartic for people. That's why, like, you see a girl with some crazy hair, she's probably been through some fucked up shit. Because every time something crazy happens, you, like, dye your hair. You change something about
You cut it real short.
visually.
You dye it
Yeah.
a funky color.
Why do you think my hair's changed so much over the years? It went from, like, super long, like, short. I just, like, cut it off, like, right at the nape of my neck with like kitchen scissors and
It's
then
like
a
one of the
pixie cut.
easiest ways to express yourself too, beyond
Yeah.
your clothing.
It doesn't
And-
express anything.
Yeah, it does.
It can
Like
express
what?
creativity.
Like a change or creativity.
What's blue hair?
I don't know, just a change.
It
Like, you
doesn't-
wanted to like.
Your
Where-
hair
like
is
it-
not like
Pull
a
up
mood
Google
ring.
Translate and the language from be hair color, and then put in colors. Like what comes out?
The
What?
fuck do you mean?
I'm saying like if this is trying to say something, what the fuck does it
Oh,
say?
okay.
Okay, like
Not in a literal
not in a
sense.
literal
Not
sense,
like,
just like
so
you're.
like the color
It's
on
just,
your hair.
yeah.
is
I'm
gonna
just
start
like
talking.
expressing myself, dude. I'm not like
Yeah,
trying to
it's
say anything in particular.
God.
It's just like
You are
expression.
so
man.
hard-headed sometimes. I'm just saying, like,
Stop,
maybe
like,
it's not
killing
something
my
that
vibe,
applies
bro.
to you, but like other people, you go through a change. You want to show that
Yeah.
you've gone through some sort of change.
Yeah, exactly.
So you change your appearance.
Your hair changes with you, and I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I haven't stayed the same person for my whole 19
Yeah, do
years.
you still look much like you
So
did
what?
in 5th grade?
I have a better question. Do you mind like natural hair color dyes or just like
I think
colored?
that I think like well,
vibrant
I think
colors?
like there's some hair dyes are like more offensive to my palate than others. Like
Like
'cause of
bright
it-
colors
'cause
and like
because
unnatural
tons
colors.
of people dye their hair blonde, you know,
Yeah, it's,
and it like
you wanna go
and
for
it's
it.
that's not particularly offensive. But like when people do like bright red or bright blue or like pink, orange,
so like loud colors?
like yeah, just obnoxious colors. It's like. Okay, you just really want attention, and it doesn't really seem like you deserve it.
Or maybe you just want to have fun.
Maybe.
Like it's just like it's a fun color. Like maybe they're not like
I had
No.
red at one point.
yeah, like not necessarily
Well-
everything someone does is for like
At multiple points, really.
Like-
it just never stuck.
Like, I don't know.
well, I'm just saying like it's sorry.
I don't know
lost
why
my
it would
train
be
of
seen
thought.
as offensive.
Yeah, like
Oh, I'm just talking to my personal sensibilities.
Yeah.
Not like offensive to any like principle or something like that. just what I like and what I don't like. Not that that counts for anything.
Yeah. I don't know. That's the thing with people. Like, we're so strange. Like, there's so many different people from all walks of life. Like, it's... like, sometimes I'll walk past, like, a ton of fraternity or sorority girls or boys, and I always think, like, oh, like, you do that. Like, sometimes you can't help it, but you sort of generalize. But it always blows my mind when
Especially with groups like that.
Yeah, especially with a group like that. Like, of course you're gonna, like, generalize and stuff, but, like, people do things for all sorts of different reasons that don't really even make sense. Like, it's complicated and it's crazy because, like, somebody might do something and they themselves don't even realize or really fully understand why they did it. So you can't always, like, infer or say, like, oh, this person wants, like, attention or they're doing this because of this. Like, there's so many other things that are at play. So you don't really know. It's always, like, a crapshoot. Like, why did they do that?
Maybe their stylist just fucked up.
Yeah, like, it's not even, like, it's just, like, I don't know. Something is going on. Don't know if it's good or bad.
Yeah, there was one time where I just asked, like, to transition from a 1 at the bottom into whatever the natural length of my hair was at the top. And for some reason that decided it should be a 1 for like 3/4 of the lengths up the side of my head and then transition into the top.
Oh, sick
So
fade.
basically I looked like a neo-Nazi.
That's awful.
And I was like, well, I guess I have to live with this for the next few weeks.
Did ever...
That's tragic.
This would be an interesting story. I'll have to edit. I'll have to edit
it's
that
not-
out.
It's not like I could do anything about that because like all it took was one stroke up the side of my head with the 1 and I'm like, well, I can't change it now.
Yeah.
Like, when am I just gonna have it go back to normal after that one stroke?
You
like,
can't make it longer after that.
You can't really do anything.
Without waiting.
It was fucked within a second of her starting.
Violet. I'm gonna have to edit that out now. No, like, last year I wanted to be a sexy ghost as, like, a joke. Like, I thought it'd be really funny. Like, you know how people go...
Yeah, we talked about it a lot, actually.
Yeah, people will go as, like, sexy corn. Like, I think that's fucking funny because it's so ridiculous, like, making something that's,
How
like...
do you do that?
Yeah. Like, what?
How do you go as sexy corn? Like, now I'm interested to see what
You
that
wear-
It's just, like, a corn thing with, like, short, with your, like, legs showing and
Yeah,
probably,
you wear like
with, like,
a
thigh
boob
highs?
hole. Yeah.
like
you know.
a corn pattern morph suit, and then you have, like, green
It's like a
husk
corn
colored bra and short skirt.
There's probably gonna be, like, a popcorn aspect of it if it's cute. But, like, yeah, something. Like, I was...
That's a hot corn, it's pop.
Hot corn. No, like, I had this idea in mind, and it was gonna be, like, cute. It was, like, gonna be really short, and I would wear, like, white fishnets and white pumps. Anyway, I got, like, a pillowcase, and I put it on, and, like, it kept, like, being pointy at the top. So, like...
So
I'm not
just
gonna be
look like you were
I'm not gonna be a sexy. It just held its
sexy
shape.
clan
I'm not
member.
gonna be a sexy clan member. Like, I feel like that's just asking to get murdered.
No, it's fine. You just, whenever someone comes up to you, like, holding a knife or a gun, you just take off the mask, like, look, I'm not white. It's fine. It's fine.
I don't want to risk that. I don't want to be just like, hey, look, I'm not white. I thought this was funny because I don't think they'd think it's funny. It's like, yeah, that's not an excuse. It's just...
there's a knife currently inserted into your abdomen by a very angry black man, and you're just like, it's fine. It's just a prank, bro.
It's just a prank. At least I would get to keep the knife.
Is that the case?
Free knife. At least they were courteous enough to, like, leave it in. You know, because...
True.
And not, like, twist it around and then pull it out.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
awful.
That's just
'cause,
rude.
like,
That's bad manners.
that's...
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what it is.
I mean, if you're, like, fighting with somebody,
Not
that's,
homicidal
like,
tendencies,
what
no.
you should be doing. But, like, if, you know, you want to live, you hope they don't do that.
The chivalrous thing is to give your opponent your weapon by leaving it inside of them.
Hot.
I mean, you're
And
not wrong.
I'm not talking about that kind of a sword.
I wasn't thinking of that. I was thinking of a sword.
Were we talking
Well,
about
you said
swords?
hot
You said
Yeah.
knife in the
for
beginning.
inserting something into someone.
Yeah, it's hot. Or, like, you know, a sword. Anyway.
Please, let's never talk about this ever again.
You're the one who made it sexual.
What?
No, she didn't. She said hot.
Yeah, I said hot because of, like, swords. Like, of, like, an actual Excalibur. Like, an actual, you know,
Like,
long sword.
hot to the touch.
Sexual.
You know, like things to go when you touch them.
Fuck.
Alright, here's some dead air they cut out.
Well, we were gonna talk about silence anyway.
Oh yeah.
Wow, what a transition.
Shut up. We're not drunk enough yet for this, and we're tired.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
Well,
you grab
that's
my-
true. No,
Could you grab my white? God, can't watch you take a shot.
that's
I'm like
number 4.
huge. Puss.
Besides the margarita.
Could you grab me like the white wine from the fridge, like this Chardonnay?
It's on the counter.
Oh, okay. No, it's weird. One thing we were talking about last night, like when it was like
No cup, just out the bottle.
okay, when it was June. Thank you. When it was
She has her own cup.
when it was June, Ozzy and Richie, there was music on in the background. There was like a ton of it. There was a good amount of it.
Wait, how did you get those corks out?
I got him out. Like I had him do the Chardonnay. and
I
did
sat
the
there
other
going
two.
for a minute straight, pulling the cork out of the bottle. That's what happened.
That's one thing. If you're gonna make like $5 wine, like it's a great like product for the price, but don't make it hard as fuck to open. Like, like they're obviously not gonna be waiting on this wine. They're not gonna like savor it or like hold it somewhere. Like just twist off. It's not that hard.
You know I'm just drinking this to get drunk.
Yeah, you know this isn't. This is like the Fleischmann's of wine. Just it tastes better. No, like last night we had music on, and you know tonight we were like Ron and I were talking about it. And it was like, oh well, I would really like to talk with music in the background. Like that's just usually when you're hanging out with friends anyway, like you have something on in the background. But like,
TV's on, actually.
but like. You're not supposed to do that in podcasts. Like, that's not really, like, the sound quality is gonna get fucked up. Like, why would you have something on in the background? And it's just, like, I just haven't been able to handle, like, silence lately.
I think the dream would be to have our own like live performance smooth jazz band in the background.
Yeah.
To just give us some ambient noise that we don't have to pay royalties for.
Yeah. No, but I don't know why. Like, even the last few weeks, it's just been, like falling asleep with the TV on in the living room because, like, my headphones broke. And I have, like, an adapter for my phone, so I can't listen. I can't just buy a new pair of headphones. I have to buy, like... Yeah, I have to buy a new dongle. And it's just, like, shitty, And it's, like...
Who came up with that one?
Probably some smartass who was like, everyone's gonna have to call this a dongle.
I don't know. I don't mind it. It's a mood, though. Like, when I got here and you guys weren't, I think there was, like, maybe, 10 minutes of silence. Because I wanted some peace and quiet, and then it was way too quiet.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you know my ass was doing homework.
What?
Because it was quiet.
No, it's just like, I don't know, I just like things on in the background, and I don't really know why I don't enjoy, like, it's definitely a mood, I would say, like, it's definitely something you get into, and you definitely just sort of, like, it's a chance to chill, it's like a rainy day, like, after so many, like, sunny days, it's really nice to just have a chill, overcast day to listen to smooth jazz.
Break
and, like,
from the sun.
yeah,
How many minutes in are we?
I don't know, like a few, like 13.
Like 13?
Ah, fuck. People are gonna hear that.
That's gonna be really loud.
It's 14
Oh,
minutes.
14? Alright, well then I'm gonna totally ruin your prediction by going ahead of 20 minutes on my first rant.
Okay,
Because if
awesome.
we're gonna talk about silence, I'm gonna talk about how, trying to totally remove all of your thought processes and go down to just, like, your senses, focus, like, all of your thought process onto your senses, is, like, such a great way to clear your head and get stress out of your body.
You mean like meditation?
Yeah, like Zen meditation.
Yeah, it is.
So instead of, like, just thinking about things and letting your thoughts wander, you just go to some place that's really quiet and then focus in on, like, the tiniest little sounds, like air moving through the ducts or whistling through the trees if you're outside, or, focusing on the tiniest little details of an object near you and focusing all of your mental energy on that for a while. And by doing so, you're basically removing the ability for your brain to think about the stuff that's stressing you out. So if you actually want to get rid of stress, free tip, just don't think about anything at all. It works.
That's really easy to say.
That's easier said than done,
Yeah,
though. Like,
it's
have you ever
really
tried to
difficult.
meditate?
Yeah, you think I'm recommending this without having it done it myself?
I don't know, maybe.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's easy. Like you've had a while to practice it, but I don't know.
Oh yeah,
It takes
it's
some
definitely
practice,
one of
right?
those things that takes practice. Like,
Yeah.
you can't just sit there for like 30 minutes
Yeah.
and think it's gonna come easily.
No,
like,
it's not.
something. It's really something that you learn.
Plus, it's different for other people. Like everyone's a little bit different on like how
Exactly.
they clear their head. Like even on like rare occasions, I have like sort of successfully meditated. I had music, like some video game music on in
ambient
the background.
sound.
Yeah,
At least white noise.
to sort of like help me do that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I'm saying is that if you use up all your mental energy on something that which isn't thinking about what you're worrying about, and then your brain just doesn't have any processing power left to think about what you're worrying about. And it takes practice because you have to get to the point where you can keep your mind on track, focused on
Yeah.
whatever you're using up your mental energy on,
You gotta
whether it's
train your animal
sound
brain.
or
Yeah.
sight. It takes a little while to get that down, to be able to stay focused and not like jump off of what you're looking at or what you're listening to back to what you were thinking about before.
Mm-hmm.
It takes some time to get that down, but once you got it down, I mean, that's going to work for everyone because you can't think about things unless you have the processing power available
Yeah.
to think about them.
I don't know.
It works. Money back guaranteed.
Sick. Well, that's not the type of thing you're gonna even put money into. So it's like,
That's the joke.
yeah, okay.
It's free. There's no money to get back.
You know what's
That's how
the
humor works.
what's the like most? Oh God,
Uh-huh.
God. Just
What?
I don't know. I keep like thinking of like something that's on the tip of my tongue, and then it just like keeps going away. I hate when that happens. Do you ever fuck?
Sometimes.
Yeah. I hate how like just autistic I get sometimes.
Is that PC? Can you say that?
This isn't really PC. Like, of course we're not gonna like be offensive, but it's just like, you know what I mean. You guys know. You
Yeah,
get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I just like don't understand people, and it sucks. Like, it's not even all the time. Like I'm pretty really social, if anything. Like I like to meet new people, and I love making people laugh, and it's super exciting, and I just get super excited all the time, just like, oh my god, hey, how's it going? Like, oh my god. But then like maintaining those relationships and those friendships, it just gets like harder and harder sometimes, because
Yeah.
like little things and snags come up, and like with technology and everything nowadays, like texting, and like you gotta get used to the way that different people text, and you gotta understand like
It's true.
what like a K might mean to one person in one context means something completely else in a
Yeah.
different in another.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just hard sometimes to just sort of navigate that and know how to respond to people, and it's like so
Yeah.
frustrating.
I think that your expectations kind of have to get adjusted in these days because people have like so much more social contact because of how like accessible everyone is through communications and transportation.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that in a certain respect, like acquaintanceship and like not close friendship is a much cheaper commodity than it used to be.
Yeah.
Like I think it's a lot easier to meet people these days when it comes to just meeting people. Like not meeting people that are like interested in specific things that you're interested in too.
Well,
But
yeah.
just like generally meeting people.
There's like that whole joke. It's like, hey, we should get coffee sometime. No, we shouldn't. Why did I say that? Let's not. Like, we're not gonna do that. We're never gonna get coffee anytime. That's never gonna happen.
I've never had someone actually go through with on their request to get coffee with me. It has happened. People have requested that, but they've never ever gone through with it.
I've done it once, and I almost left. Like, it was
Oh,
with
what's his face?
that guy Alexander.
Uh-huh.
It was like a date, and I remember like
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
like I remember like getting ready and everything, and then like going down and being across the way from the coffee shop.
Was
And
he
like,
the guy who walked you to your class? Or, like, walked you to the Klein to study?
yeah, that was the guy. It was so weird. It was so weird. He was a weirdo. But no, like I remember going up to the, like seeing the coffee shop and almost just turning around and saying like, "Hey, sorry, I couldn't make it," because I don't know why. It was just so difficult to just go in and like be on a date
Uh-huh.
and stuff. Like,
It's funny, too, because your gut feeling was right.
yeah,
He was weird.
it was weird. Maybe I should have just like left and pretended like it never happened.
He probably already did something to put you off. If
You could have told me to call you and acted like there was an emergency.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't. I was just like trying to feel it out. Like I always try and see the good in people, but then he was just like super weird, and I was like, oh, I tried to do that with like Naya. Like no one's gonna know who she is, but I like said, oh, I'm so sorry. Like I forgot I need to meet my friend Naya at the Klein, so I'll go. And he like got up too, and we just walked to the Klein together. And I walked inside, walked to like a random spot, and then just sort of like sat down and was just like,
How long until I can leave?
what the fuck was that about? Like just really, it was just weird the entire time. He kind of gave me that vibe that like Brittany gave.
Oh,
Like
no.
that sort of fake sympathy sort of way.
Oh.
And just like trying to be really too like sensual and intimate too quick. Like it was weird. He kept
Oh, you told me. Yeah, he kept like
That's
rubbing
the
your
thing that
hand.
comes last.
yeah, it was so weird.
Yeah.
Like it was really uncomfortable. That's like some sort of it's like a sort of little act of intimacy, like grabbing someone's hand, like their palm and like stroking your like thumb back and forth.
That's so awkward.
That is not
Like,
something
just
that should
meeting.
happen
I remember-
until you're like hours into the interaction. with
Yeah, I
that
remember
person.
like
Or maybe even on like the next date.
maybe
But yeah, like it depends on the person, right?
it's weird. People are weird. I just
would like
remember
to
like holding
apologize.
grabbing my hand away.
I would like to apologize for
For
the
what?
activities of my gender because there's a lot of us that are creepy fuckers.
Thank you.
I think in general they're just a lot. Well, yeah, guys are really weird.
Yeah.
The
I think, like-
a man will do for coochie.
Ew.
Ew.
I think I think if
hate
you
that
ask
word.
any woman, she has like at least a handful of stories, not even just one, just like a handful of times. Like,
Oh yeah.
no, I've been like really freaked out by a guy because like
Yeah.
I don't think guys understand when they're being like emotionally freaky. Like, you know,
I told you about Jake, right?
tell us about Jake.
The guy who I didn't know I was on a date with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Until
yeah,
it was 1 a.m.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, until we were at the beach, really, and by then it was like 10. We
yeah.
were just like sitting on the sand, and I was like, "It's great, I made a friend today." And then he started like rubbing my knee, and it was not
He was
okay.
like, oh my god, oh my
It
god.
was so not okay.
It's just like, I don't know why, but like there was this, like a lot of stories about guys like following women home to like ask them out, or like waiting for them at home to ask
That's
them
not
out.
okay.
That's terrifying. Like, how would
Ooh.
anyone not understand how that's not okay? Like, if you're like alone with somebody in like a room, like in a closed quarters, you're not supposed to like ask them out on a date if they can't readily get away from you. I feel like, because they would just be like saying it to get like.
Like just trapping someone in the corner with a T pose and then be like, "Will you please go on a date
You'd
with
be
me?"
surprised, but that like
That
a
is
lot of
not
guys kind of
cool.
do that.
I know. I'm just like taking that to the extreme. Just
Yeah.
like locking someone into a corner and be like, "You're not leaving until you agree to go on a
God,
date
that would
with
be
me."
so shitty.
Ooh.
Or like,
Immediate restraining order.
or just like, just
towards this person that I don't know at all.
that'd be so fucking terrifying. God.
Ooh.
Dude.
That's definitely the worst part about being a female is like the just the sheer quantity of male attention from people that you probably don't want it from.
Yeah. I don't know. Isn't that like the age-old story? Like you just not. Just that.
Did I tell you about the time I was walking home? Well, we weren't walking home. We were just walking away from the school. It was sophomore year in high school, and it was the night of homecoming.
Mhm.
And we were just walking across the street to McDonald's because that's where we were getting picked up. We couldn't drive yet, right?
Yeah.
And this guy from across the street, he must have been, I don't know, homeless or crazy or both. I'm not sure. He called us hookers.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so awful.
He
That's
called
so weird.
He called 15-year-old girls hookers. And like he was making jokes about it and whatnot, and it was disgusting.
That's gross.
Yeah.
That would be freaky. I would run to that McDonald's.
Well, that sounds like the kind of person that you'd find at a 7-Eleven at 3 a.m. in the morning on a cocaine binge, like.
Or something.
That just sounds like a really sketchy person in general.
I remember this.
We were right outside the high school too. What the fuck?
Yeah, that is unacceptable.
Why are you in this area? Like, why are you here?
Excuse me?
What are you talking about? Like.
I mean, now it's funny, but then it was just kind of like,
Well, then
what
it's
the
terrifying.
fuck just happened?
Isn't that crazy how, like, every time something really scary or, like, bad happens to you, it's, like, funny later on?
Mhm.
And then every time something, like, really nice and cute and, like, funny or good happens, like, sometimes it just makes you sad later on. It's like, oh, I missed that. And then it just...
now I'm emo.
It
Well-
fucks you up.
I think the prior statement is a bit more powerful than the latter, because, like, being nostalgic for things that have gone past it's bittersweet. It's not entirely sad, right?
I mean,
But
it depends. Like, it can be.
I guess
But when
it
it
depends
comes-
on the mood that like brings those memories to the forefront of your mind.
That's a good point, actually.
But when it comes to things that, like, are bad in the past, and then you just chuckle to yourself remembering, there really isn't much negative in your head when you're thinking about those things. Like, when you think about, like, oh man, that 12-mile hike was fucking brutal. I wish, like, that sucked by the end of that. My legs were so sore. But you're just laughing about it because there's nothing in the present which is, upsetting about it. It's what's upsetting about it is all in the past.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, the thing that happened that was good in the past was good in the past and is still kind of good in the present because you're happy that it happened, right?
Yeah.
The only thing that you're sad about is that it's not still happening.
Yeah.
So it's like, I that's like a 0.5 happy and a 1.0 happy, as opposed to a 1.0 happy and a 1.0
On the
sad.
happiness pH scale.
Yes. Patented by Ron Jeremy.
Ron Jeremy. That's like a good way to make a drag queen name. Just shove like two women's names together. Like, it's a lot better than just like some
Like
of
Crystal Sky.
Sort of. I would say like, I
Or
don't know.
Melanie.
Jezebel.
No.
Jezebel? Melanie Sarah?
Jezebel Melanie. I could see that. No.
Sarah Melanie. Swap
Alexa-
it around.
Alexis Champagne. No, that's a stripper name. Anything with like alcohol in it is like either a drag queen or a stripper. But most likely
Melanie
a stripper.
Alexis.
I could see that, but I don't really see a Melanie being a drag queen.
My mom's name is Melanie.
Really?
I'm sorry.
Ah.
I'm sorry for what I said.
I'm not sorry for what I said. I said she doesn't sound like a drag queen.
You did.
I did?
I don't know.
Oh. Oh god. I feel like making a like saying like, because I'm that person who's always like, hey you guys, oh my god, let's start a podcast. Like, I'm that person back in the 90s who was like running up to their friends all excited saying, dude, you guys, let's start a fucking band. Because like anyone could do it, like back in the,
That's true.
back in the 90s, that was but like it was just like grunge garage bands. That was what was in.
Mhm.
Like
I wish we were still at that point, because I have only known one person in my entire life so far, which has been like a kid in high school trying to get a band together and practicing in their garage all night long, right?
there's something really classic about that.
There was
That's
a couple bands
awesome.
in my high school.
And they
Yeah.
were honestly pretty sick. Like, they played me some demo tapes that they made of them like doing some like Led Zeppelin styles blues rock, kind of just general riffs and like background sound, some harmonies. Not like a full song, but them just kind of like making some nice
Jamming?
little harmonies, just jamming. It's a jam
Yeah.
session. They played some demo tapes of these jam sessions to me. I'm like, if someone told me that was like, a Led Zeppelin demo tape from like behind the stage that never made it onto an album, I would believe them. Like, they were pretty damn good. And these are just like high school juniors that just kind of fucked around in their spare time.
Yeah, it'd be really cool to have something like that, but it's difficult to get like a place to practice. That's hard to
Yeah.
lock down, let alone like get actual decent instruments and people
Yeah.
who know them well enough to play, who are also your friends and into the same type of music and who like want the same idea.
Everything about it is a struggle, but that is what makes it so much cooler than what's taking its place in our time, which is like this stupid like SoundCloud rapper and wannabe producer kind of area.
Yeah.
Do you know one DJ Bizzle? You might have to censor that. I don't know.
No.
I don't care.
Jimmy
Oh
Bone.
my god.
I don't know. What do you who?
FPV.
I don't know. Through some of those SoundCloud
DJ
rappers,
Bizzle.
they really like through people like making
Timmy Brabs.
Timmy Brabs.
Yeah, he's this kid who goes to my best friend's university, which is like she goes to like an art school,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of like music kids who think they're gonna make it. And there's this one guy. His name is Timmy Brabs. Oh my god, he's got some fucking jams.
Really? Oh.
But it's funny as fuck. He's
Oh,
on Spotify
fuck.
actually, so I don't know.
Oh.
Does that make him better than?
He's
the
on
SoundCloud?
Spotify?
Yeah, he's on Spotify.
I mean, that takes like a little bit of like
Work.
influence or work.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
Timmy Brabs from the Birds.
Timmy Brabs from the Burbs. That sounds awful. I love it.
It's fantastic.
Oh my
I
god.
thought you said from the Birds for a second. I'm like, wait, he's taking on the persona of a dead man that was in a band in the 60s? What?
No, like, some people who have come out of that are really cool. Like, have like come out of similar platforms like SoundCloud, like Joji.
Oh, fuck.
Like, dude, he's so talented.
But I mean, that's not
TMG,
where
fuck me up.
Joji didn't really like start out on SoundCloud.
Yeah, but a lot of other
he
people
just kind of like
have.
threw up some stuff that he was working on.
Well, I'm
in
not
the
saying
background.
necessarily
And
SoundCloud.
it
I mean
was
similar
well-received.
platforms. You know.
Right. I mean, but
Like,
you're
he
right.
was doing the same thing.
He was just some guy on the internet.
it doesn't mean
and
he wasn't,
and
like,
now
trying.
he's actually like a major nationwide
Oh
artist,
my god,
right?
Slow Dancing in the Dark.
Oh my god, he's
adore
going.
that
bitch,
song.
he's going on tour.
Blah.
Wait,
and
he's
I'm
going on
really-
tour?
Yeah, he's going on tour, but he's not coming here.
That sucks.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
He's of course going to California.
Is he going
he's
to,
going
like,
to the
Vegas?
venue that we always go see our shows at. It's called the Observatory.
Oh my god.
Oh my! He's going the day
Outside of
after my
LA?
birthday. He'll be there the day after my birthday, and I'm so upset that I can't go home because
That
then
sucks.
second semester started already.
That'd be so cool to see Joji live.
Anyway,
He's
January birthday.
so talented.
yeah,
um.
Aquarius.
No, but like.
All right, let's talk about astrology because I fucking hate astrology.
No, I don't want to talk about astrology.
Triggered.
Just like. It would be so cool to be in a band. It would be so
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
If you could, play an instrument.
Yeah, like.
Well, I
that'd be
think
nice.
anyone can. It just
it
requires
just
a
takes
certain level of practice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like a certain level of like.
Maybe
it's-
there are people that are like so incompetent or like so uncoordinated that they could
Yeah.
never manage it. But I think those people are the exception.
I think it would be really cool, like, if we really do live at those apartments next year. It would be. I would really love to like bring my piano up here and actually like start playing again.
Yeah, you have room for it.
Because I used to be like pretty decent. Like I was never very good. Like there was like, 8-year-olds who obviously played
Mhm.
better than I was. But I was like a 14-year-old. I had never played a piano before. I didn't like come through on the ground floor at like 4 years old.
Exactly.
Already
It's like
learning.
one of those skills that you have
Yeah.
to start when you're little, like ballet or something.
Which is why I'm really excited because my little brother, like, he has been playing like violin for a few years now
Oh,
through like elementary school, and
that's cool.
I'll be honest, like, of course, like, he's not very good, but he's a beginner, and he's, like, 12. So, and I'm always, like, really excited, actually, like, when I see him on stage and I go to his recital, and he's all, like, shy, and just, like,
Yeah.
oh, and I'm just, like, ah! Like, I just get so excited! Fuck!
I've only ever been able to play 2 instruments, and the first one was a clarinet,
I just ripped a part of my hair
and
out.
the second one was a bass clarinet.
Basically.
Yep, just a big clarinet. It was
Clarinet.
too big for me.
The only things that I've ever played were the piano and the clarinet.
I just remember.
And I was not good at either of them. And I really didn't try.
Well, there's your problem.
I remember
Exactly.
getting to the point in piano where I was like, I still songwrite and stuff on occasion, just for like shits and giggles. It's not like,
Yeah.
ooh, I'm pouring my heart and soul into this shit. Like, nah. But like, even when I was pretty good at like piano, I was never really good enough to like write sort of a piece of just music without like lyrics. Like the songs I was making up were just like, you know, what I thought of in my head. It's like so hard to actually like write piano music. So like it was really just like sets of chords, just like something in the background to like fill that space.
I think I want this bottle to be empty by the end of this podcast.
Oh dear God, are we gonna make?
You were looking at it earlier, like
longingly,
you were mulling it over,
like a long lost lover.
You were kind of just looking at it, like, yes, this is what I need.
Do you want to make margarita, like more margaritas? Oh, we don't have any more.
Ice.
Well,
wait, did you use all the mix?
Stand by.
Okay.
Area 10, but
Ron is in.
No, I'm not. Why would you say that?
Is Ron in the army?
Sure.
Maybe.
Well, it's not your real name.
I fucking know that.
Yeah.
I haven't forgotten who I am. Maybe when I'm at the bottom of that bottle, I will.
I'll switch something around. I'll do something.
You know what? It's fine. I'm gonna make more margaritas.
Sick.
Margarita break. You know what that means.
Oh, we'll pause this. Speaking of salad, actually, that was something you noticed yesterday when we were eating. Like, I got some salad and I was eating it, and every time I get, like, salad, I usually get salad whenever I go to, like, the, like, all you can eat places here on campus. So, I'll get, like, you know, like, iceberg lettuce, like, a ton of croutons, and, like, some of those, like sunflower seeds.
Oh.
Yeah, then I'll get cucumbers and like tomatoes, but I never put ranch on it. I don't like the taste of ranch. And I remember you were just like, you don't like ranch? Like what?
Well, there's not a lot of options.
That's not what I asked. I asked like, you really eat your salad without dressing? And you're like,
yeah, no dressing.
I was like, I don't like ranch. I'm like, they don't have anything besides ranch? You know, I was a little shocked that they didn't have like a Caesar at least or a vinaigrette.
I don't like.
They do though. Did you go to the hospital or the Dube?
Both or the Dube.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I think I said dressing, but in general I mean like I don't like anything. I said ranch. I should have said it's dressing. I don't like anything on it. Like at all.
Oh man, but vinaigrettes are so nice.
I don't know if I've ever had one actually.
Most likely.
Oh yeah, I have. Never mind. Yeah.
There's nothing like going to a fancy Italian restaurant and getting something which is I don't even know what the fuck they call it. I'm not Italian. I'm not gonna pretend to be, right? But it's Baba da Boopy, right?
We're doing all three of us are doing that little.
Forget about it.
Literally everyone is instinctually doing the hand gesture.
Forget about it.
It's awesome.
But nothing is better than being served just like a little tower of greens, cheeses, and fine sausages sliced very thin, drizzled over with a vinaigrette. Maybe add in an olive or two.
No.
Not all people like olives. But
maybe not all people like olives, but what all people should like, and if they
really
don't, they should be put to death.
Oh.
Is pestos.
Ooh.
Pestos?
Pesto.
See, I don't agree.
Those basil leaf sauces, they're great.
I like pesto.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like a harsh thing.
Yeah, it's not something I would have every time.
So mild.
You know, I think it's just like it's like a different flavor.
People are used to spaghetti, you know, like marinara.
Name a natural dish.
I like
that
marinara and you like the creamy ones. I don't like those at all.
Name a natural dish that you could add pesto to
Pesto
that would not be good. Pesto to that would not be good. I think pesto goes good with everything.
Yeah, but you could say that about butter.
I would also say that about butter.
Yeah.
I fucking love butter.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Like, I try not to eat it as much, but like, it's great. Actually, you know, that's one thing.
Alright, I win. I win.
I didn't really fight you, so you
win.
Didn't have a competition.
Anyway. And so I win. No contest.
Okay.
Oh my god, sure, take it, whatever. Anyway,
Pesto goes on everything. Victory.
Damn it, see, you need to stop interrupting me when I say things because I'm gonna forget what I was gonna say.
Change the name of the podcast to Woman Interrupted.
Oh, that movie Girl Interrupted is awesome. I love that movie. You're drunk. I'm
not
high.
drunk enough. I'm gonna finish that bottle of tequila.
Yeah, add it to your graveyard. I want to start one. I have mostly like wine bottles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, just the corks, because the bottles would take up too much room.
Actually, I think
No.
I used to like
You're
doing...
gonna move out
I'm-
someplace bigger.
What time?
I'm being helpful.
No, you're not, because I didn't get to finish my thought. You
What?
do that so much. I want to take
I think
those...
that's a boy thing. Sorry.
I want to... It's okay. I want to take the wine bottles and do this thing I used to do. I used to take the wine bottles, take those labels off, and, like, spray them down with, like, a really cool color, like teal or red or, like, gold or black or... I'm just listing colors
color.
now. Yeah, which is something that would be really cool. And then you can put, like, you know, candlesticks in them or just, like, have them around to, like, hold shit. Like, there was this really nerdy girl who would... what was her name? She was a total Bronwyn type. Remember this girl I sat next to in, like, the only time I took art class in high school, but she would, like, take wine bottles and put, like, little origami hearts in them. And she just, like, every time she would, like, write something nice in there, and I was like, what do you do with them? And she was like, at the end of the year, I shake them all out and I read every one, and it's great. And I was like, that's
Okay.
gay. But, like, I didn't say that. I was like,
Really gay. Stop.
wow, Christine, that's really adorable. But that's something you could do with them. I want to do that.
We used to put, like, string lights in empty, like, Chardonnay bottles
Ooh. Yeah.
and just make them, like, little cute lamps.
I'm just in that mood to, like, decorate and, like, that's why I think that's why those, like, 5-minute life hack and, like, home improvement, like, YouTube channels and shit like that. The reason, and Instagram, you know, the reason why they're so popular, I think, is just people, like, watching shit like that. Like, oh, do it yourself and, like, creating shit, but, like, not necessarily doing it. Because, like, a lot of those things are just ridiculous now. But I'm still gonna watch some of them because it's like, oh, that one's actually useful. Or, like, you know, the rare nugget of, like, fuck.
What's a fun way that I can use this condom?
5-minute crafts! Wow! What's wrong?
Is it? That was a big ice
That
cube.
was a big ice thing. I usually like crunching on ice, but, like, it would just be too much right now. Like, emotionally.
Not in the right mind.
Like, I'm not in
to
the right
crunch on some
mindset for
ice.
that. It would just be, like, too much, like, crunch in my ears. And I would just be like, ew.
Are you okay, Ron?
No, he was timing himself. He's probably timing himself to, like, be quiet. Yeah, he nodded. You didn't have to do that. Like, you could just, like, not interrupt me anymore. You don't have to, like...
Oh, is this a thing that he usually does?
No. But I knew what he was doing. You don't have to redeem yourself by, like, being quiet for a certain amount of time. That makes it, like, I don't know, like, not organic. Like, just not, like, oh, natural. Just, like, oh, hey, okay, I'll stop doing that.
Okay, fine. No problem.
It's like,
I'll watch
hey,
it.
man, it's true. It kind of reminds me of, like, that thing that Savvy used to do. She's like, no, it's fine. I don't even care. Like, it's totally fine. Oh, my God. Like, I don't even care. I need a drink. Shit like that.
Fucking on the way to the dorm,
Yeah.
she called her
It was
friend
like a
and was like,
Tuesday.
bitch, listen.
It was like 7.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. That was so funny.
I decided to be quiet for 3 minutes.
Why
That's
3
over
minutes?
now. Why 3 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's a reasonable amount of time. 5 would be too much.
Okay.
And who the fuck picks 4?
I picked 4.
That just makes it uncomfortable. Like,
What is that
weird.
supposed to
Just
mean?
Stop interrupting. Like, that's not that hard. No,
4 is a
remember,
lucky number.
remember that time she, like, walked into the dorm and she was just, she was, like, really stressed out and she mentioned cocaine and I was like...
Do you not remember that she did cocaine?
Yeah,
in
no,
front
I
of us?
was, like, talking, I was, like, saying, like,
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
that crazy?
Yeah, that was when her room was gonna get potentially searched because we were getting a new roommate.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
And she
That
was
was
just
when the
freaking
pilgrim
out.
was supposed to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was freaking out about her coke, and so she came into our room, and she was like, "Can you stash this for me?" And
Yeah.
then, you know, rub some on her gums just right then and there. Like, it was no big deal. I'd never seen coke before.
Did we stash her?
No, we didn't.
Okay, I was about to say, I don't remember that part of her. I would be like, no. No. I remember talking to Ron. I mentioned that specifically.
Mhm.
And he was just telling me how, like, it's super expensive. Like, she got it apparently for, like, a really, like, 40% discount, because it's usually, like, $100 a gram. Which,
Oh, because she has such nice skin.
yeah. She's really pretty.
I think both of you have nice skin. I don't know what you're complaining about.
Thanks.
Thank you.
It's just, like, well, I fell asleep in my makeup last night, so it's a bit fucked up right now.
And I've been stressing.
And I've been, like, slacking a bit on my, like, skin routine, but it's just, like, I guess I just, like, wish my skin were clearer. Like, I have, like, those little pock marks you get from, like, popping pimples, or, like, they break and shit like that. Like, there's
Unless
not
there's-
too many, but there's a good amount.
Yeah, unless there's too many of them, they're like a little bit cute, you know.
I can't remember who it was, but, like, my friend my cousin? No. Somebody, it was, like, I was, like, complaining about them, and they were trying to make me feel better. Like, oh, look, it's natural contour, because it's, like, right where you're, like, you know.
Oh, wow, thank you.
And I remember just still being, like, awesome. And there's, like,
that doesn't make me feel better at all.
dark, fucked up area right below my cheekbones.
When I complain about these things, I don't want you, I don't want to hear, oh, no, you have nice skin, because I know you're lying to me. I want to hear advice on how I can fix it.
Yeah. Sometimes
What is wrong with your skin, honestly?
it's just like
I'm talking to her specifically. Because like I said, you have like a
that back. Just like,
You have a-
bitch, wasn't talking
Your
to
seat's
you.
over there on the back burner.
you started to talk.
Oh my god.
I addressed her specifically, and then you started to talk.
Bitch, I was talking to her first. Okay, go on.
You have dimples, so you
You
don't
do
have
have
anything to
dimples.
complain
Yeah,
about.
I do.
That was cute.
Thank you.
See? Nothing to complain about.
Are you gonna sit down?
No.
Yeah, no, I don't like that you're standing. You're too tall.
No, no,
Stop.
no.
No, you're making it weird. Ron.
Ron.
Ron. Sit the fuck down. God, you're too fucking tall. It's weird. I'm sitting down. It makes me feel uncomfortable. Sit the fuck down.
Use my full name.
Ron Jeremy?
That's about to be a spit take. I don't think you're.
Do you know who Ron Jeremy is?
Yes.
She knows.
Do you not know who Ron Jeremy is? You should look him up.
God damn. If you guys can't.
I'm really glad that you're gonna have this in your search history.
Ron Jeremy. Porn
Your
star.
FBI agent.
Porn star, the legend. No, honestly, my FBI agent would be relieved by this.
You'd be like, oh, finally, something normal.
Nicknamed the Hedgehog. Jeremy was named AVN. Wait, okay, Ronald Jeremy Hyatt. Fuck. If you guys didn't know, Ron just fucking shit himself.
Oh, I need to excuse myself.
He'd go into the bathroom and just cry.
Alright, finish your goddamn story.
Better known by the stage name Ron Jeremy is an American
Oh, man.
pornographic actor. Oh, I've seen this guy. I know him. Oh my god.
He's the dude with the creeper stash with the insanely long penis.
I think
Yeah.
the first time I heard of Ron Jeremy was on Tosh.0.
Yeah, it's huge. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
how is that possible?
I don't know.
How?
It just happened.
Wait. Did
Well,
it
there's
say
that guy-
number? Did it say number like in
I can
inches?
look it up. There, no doubt they know. No, I think there was this guy who was like record holding like world's longest dick, but like it was just too big for like anyone.
Well, yeah, I mean at a certain length, like
Well, no,
It's
I
just
mean,
unusable.
He had like 9 inches when flaccid, and then 11 inches when hard.
9
So-
inches flaccid?
Yeah.
That is not
Yeah.
possible.
Wow.
Thank God that guy is a shower, because if he was 9 inches flaccid and then he was a grower and he was obviously like 15 inches, just wah. But like, no, how the world
I
found it
guess
out
that's how it has
was
to be.
because like an airplane, like security people, they like saw it.
Thought it was a gun?
Yeah.
Wait, so they had like the
No.
they had like the
yeah.
millimeter wave scanner and they scanned him and they just saw like this like 12-inch
Yeah.
protrusion in his crotch. Like, sir, do you have any weapons on you?
Wow. Holy fuck.
Around Jeremy penis length. In fact, Jeremy measures the length of his penis at 9 3/4 inches, significantly smaller than that of the porn star John Holmes, but nevertheless his greatest asset. Ooh, John Holmes! Who is that man?
Significantly smaller?
Yeah.
Can I petition to change my name to John?
No. Suck it.
You don't really have to petition. You can go to City Hall and do it.
Most famous
Excuse me?
penises. Wait. Longest, thickest. Wait, whoa! Holmes was best known for his exceptionally large penis, which was heavily promoted as the longest, thickest, and hardest in adult film history. Although
Is that like a Guinness World Record?
Hey, I don't know. Well, although no documented measurement of Holmes' actual penis length, girth, or tumescence has ever been confirmed.
What the fuck is tumescence?
Just give me a second. I'm not done. Near the end of his life, Holmes attained notoriety. For his disputed involvement in the Wonderland murders of. Okay, well, that's not really.
Oh, cool. He killed people too?
Yeah, I guess so.
Probably with his dick.
Well, like how.
That's my role model.
Whoa. Okay.
Goals, am I right?
An adult film star who got his start in pornographic films in the 1960s. Holmes was born. Okay. Oh, okay. He died of AIDS. Oh.
Wow, what a shocker.
Shut your
That's fitting.
mouth. You're just jealous.
Let
Holmes was
me...
widely publicized as having a penis ranging from 12.5 to 18 inches.
18?
Maybe it's takeable for some people, you know? Like
No, not anybody.
No, that literally nobody. Like,
They're
you
gonna be
just
doing
some of that
something
length
to
is
it.
just unusable.
Like, they don't have to, like, you know, with, like, there doesn't have to be, like, penetration, but there's things you can do for, like, a porn video, I could see.
Well, like, deep throat?
No, I mean, just, like...
Anal?
Just
like
go
straight into the lower intestines?
Like a hand job sort of aspect. That was what I was going for, because, like...
Wow, I have 4 extra inches to move my hand across. This is amazing.
Just give, like, you know, put several people in there doing the same thing, you know? It'd be like a harem outlook on it. Anyway, let's see.
I don't even think it's attractive at that point.
A recent attempt at discerning...
Then it's just really intimidating.
It's visually impressive, wouldn't it be? Like, just like look at it up close
Oh,
and
wow.
be like,
The film Boogie Nights is loosely based on Holmes' life.
what?
Yeah,
That's insane.
that's amazing.
Everyone knows
Wow.
Boogie Nights, and nobody knows John Holmes.
John Holmes was one of the great stars of the golden age of porn.
Wow.
The reign of Queen Elizabeth I of England and Wales, the last... Oh, wait. Oh, so that's just the definition of golden age. That's
I
the golden age of porn.
Well, I would
It's a little bit
suggest that the
confused.
golden age of porn is definitely in the present, considering how much more available
I
and
don't think
popular
we
it
need any
is.
more porn.
No.
I think we have enough of it.
Well, I think if you had to jerk off to 80s pornography until the end of time, like
There's
that's
so
not-
much online,
that's
though.
not bad.
Oh,
I'm fine
okay,
with
I thought
that.
You were saying, yeah. Just jumped on that. Sorry.
Like you don't need a lot of porn.
Like, you got, you know what you got.
There's
Like,
just so much of
you
it.
don't need. I feel like most people, if they watch porn, they just watch like 2 videos over and over again. Like it's the same
No.
as TV. I feel like it's
No.
the same as like Parks and Rec and like The Office. Like you're gonna keep rewatching those. If
No, I
you
mean-
know you like it, and it's like the same. Like you know it's
But there's
You're
so
familiar
much
with
that
it.
you like, and like unless you're like a fucking freak, like you just open up Pornhub and probably on the first page of suggested results, there's gonna be something that you like.
yeah. Well,
It's-
I don't know. Like people, different strokes for different folks.
Different strokes for
Literally.
different strokes for different cocks. That's what I opened this
You're
with.
such a.
That's true.
You don't have to be so blatant with it. I feel like saying like that.
That's
is,
probably
like,
my least favorite euphemism.
there's more
Different
than one.
strokes for different folks.
No. Cock.
Okay,
There's
well
more-
that's not really a euphemism.
Yeah, it is.
That is stating the thing.
There's more than one way to fuck a cat.
There's more than one way to fuck a cat.
A euphemism means that you avoid saying the thing in a vulgar manner. You say something else instead. So when I say different strokes for different cocks, that is literally the opposite of a euphemism.
Okay, well, whatever.
Both.
It
Yeah.
makes me uncomfortable.
Boom.
Whatever. I've had enough arguing today. My brother is like you, so.
I'm sorry. I kind of got that vibe.
You did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just from the way that he talked to you, it was kind of like
me?
very impatient,
Of
you
course
know.
he was talking to me. He was
Yeah.
talking to you.
Yeah.
Certainly
I
wasn't
didn't
talking
even
to me.
really-
That's because he's a bitch, but I love him.
I felt a little bad. I didn't really hang out or say anything or
That's
talk.
fine.
But
We were here for not that long.
yeah, I know. I was just like, hey, bye.
I did manage to tell him though how you feel about the fact that he likes math.
What did he say?
He was just honestly I don't remember actually.
What? How does she feel about the
'Cause
fact that he
I
likes math?
don't really like math, and I remember joking around, and I was like,
Yeah.
hey, anybody who fucking likes math, you can't trust those people.
Yeah.
Like,
Um.
you can't trust people who like fucking math. You're about to prove my point?
No. Hey, I'm
Red.
trustworthy.
Ouch!
Roasted!
I'm
Ponies!
trustworthy. I'm trustworthy.
God fucking damn!
I'm trustworthy.
Blah. I wish I could do that correctly.
You can trust me.
Get fucked,
I'm
Jeremy.
trustworthy. I didn't like math.
Oh my god!
Here's the thing, though.
Oh,
I've
God.
always hated math, and then I realized, if I'm gonna do the degree that I want to do, I'm gonna have to do a lot of
Yeah,
fucking
you're gonna
math.
have to, get into it.
So I just spent a month or two just delving into the stuff that math nerds really like,
Yeah.
and after a while I was like, okay, this is actually kind of cool.
Like RuneScape?
No. No. RuneScape is cool even if you're not a math nerd.
Should have said Roblox.
Listen,
Oh no!
if you ever talk shit about Roblox to my face ever again.
Oh my god. Anyway, what were you finished or were you?
No, I'm not finished because
Okay.
I'm about to hit the tequila again.
Okay.
I thought we were gonna talk about astrology.
Oh, gross.
I fucking hate astrology.
Oh my god, Oh my god, You started it. You started him up.
Go.
I don't even know what sign I am. Am I a Scorpio? Am I a Leo? I don't fucking know. They changed it.
When's your birthday?
February
That's my
29th.
birthday. My birthday is July 31st.
Tragic.
That's
When?
so shitty.
July 31st.
July 3rd. You're a Leo.
Cool, I'm a fucking lion. That's all that matters.
You're a fire sign too.
You could have been
A
a
what?
crab or
Fire.
Cancer.
A what?
Fire sign.
Fire.
What are Aquariuses? Oh, it's a wind.
Air. Yeah, it's air.
Wind. Yay.
Aquarius is in water?
No,
No. Isn't that crazy?
we're not water.
Seems a little
We're
fucked.
water bearers.
You have fucking aqua in the name.
Yeah.
That's water.
Yeah, I know.
But the
That is linguistically what the name means.
you
is
know what,
coming from
come
water.
on, that's the thing. There's so many other things that are weird about astrology and what people believe in about it.
Yeah, the
That's-
fact that people pay attention to it when it has no consequence on anything at all and has been disproven for literally a fucking millennia and a half.
Oh my god, you know what? I don't even care about astrology in any capacity, and I don't believe in it. But whenever I like someone, I always compare
Yeah.
oh, is my astrological sign
Yeah.
the same?
Are we compatible?
Are we compatible?
Like,
It's always just
don't give a shit
yeah, it's just
about
fun
astrology
to do.
whatsoever or think it's backed by any means.
Or
But
that
I'm
little,
just what's my horoscope
that
for
little
today?
apple thing, you twist the little stem out of the apple core, and you're A, B, C,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
whoever, I got to
I mean, you could also just go to BuzzFeed for that.
I went to on one of those the other day, and I've never
Could you
gotten that far.
imagine if the people paid as much attention to astronomy as they did to astrology?
You want to know something interesting? I learned in astronomy last year that, okay, so if it was January, you'd think the Aquarius constellation would be in the sky, right?
Yeah.
It's not true. It's
Why?
actually behind the sun.
It's so sad.
Well,
so
wouldn't that...
when it's Aquarius, then it's actually, I think it's Gemini that's in the sky.
Oh. Gemini in the sky, so take a look. It's in a book. Reading rainbow.
Wait. I have a question. Wouldn't most of the constellations for astrology not be present at all in the southern hemisphere sky?
Okay, wait a second. Hold that thought. I'm just saying, I don't believe in astronomy, I don't believe in
I don't
astrology.
believe in astronomy. Mercury is a lie. Earth is the center of the
This is
universe. Geocentrism.
Okay,
Geocentrism.
Astrology, I don't believe in that at all, but
Yeah.
like people have this idea that like Geminis are like super problematic people.
Yeah, the
my mother.
fuckheads.
Yeah, my mother's a Gemini, and like I was like, oh okay, wait, that's true. That little part.
Oh wait, yeah, she's awful.
I believe that shit. I don't necessarily have to believe every other part of it. How do you manage pain? Exercise and yoga, Tylenol, alcohol, acupuncture, heroin, prescription pain medication, or tell myself it'd be like that sometimes. That just, I feel a little bit attacked.
It hurts because it's relatable.
Fuck. I wanna see my little boy.
Here it comes.
I wanna see my little boy.
Here it comes.
I love that
I
shit.
am the tall boy.
I said my little boy.
The little boy.
Exact
oh, that's not me.
opposite.
That is not me.
Yeah.
You have not drinking that margarita at all.
I'm gonna drink it.
It's strong.
Surrender it.
No, it's mine.
I think you've had a lot to drink.
Can you just chill out for a second?
You've had how many? 2 margaritas and
Like
4
we're not going,
shots.
like we're not like pounding.
5.
5. Okay.
Okay.
Take
well,
a break. Have some water instead.
Ron, we're
I
not.
just drank an
no,
entire
just,
cup
like,
of water.
we're
Drink
not-
another cup, Ron.
We're not no, okay. We're not pounding them down like, you know, at a party. We're just having a chill night. It's okay to go slower and chiller.
It's not a race, Ron.
Yeah. Ron. Spill it.
I keep my own pace time. I race against myself.
Okay, well, as long as you're in our apartment, could you just chill out?
Ooh,
Oh.
ponage.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
But close the door. It's cold. You're gonna make the heater turn back on.
Is that water?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, it's vodka.
No, it's water.
Yeah, no. Ew, you're letting the draft in. Ew.
Yeah, it's cold already.
It's cold.
How cold is it actually?
It's like 22 degrees. Fuck. Ron.
Oh wait, actually the heater's not gonna turn off.
Oh yeah, because we
Because
took.
it's
It's
not gonna
16
turn on.
degrees outside.
Well,
16?
Yeah.
16?
Yeah.
I
Oh, it's
drank
gonna be
another
fun,
cup of
dude.
water.
Okay.
Go have another one.
Actually, I kind of need to pee.
Well, break number 2. Let's go.
Ron, put the toilet seat down.
Listen. My mind is in other places right now.
You should probably even have another one after that.
Shut your mouth.
I'm just looking out for you, Ron. We also have Advil. Well, it's not Advil, it's Tylenol.
You need you
But the cheap
can't
kind.
take Tylenol when you're drinking.
You can't?
You can take Advil, but you can't take Tylenol.
Well, do you have ibuprofen? Because there's acetaminophen in the cabinet. Just in case.
Yeah, we have ibuprofen.
Oh, okay.
Did you need some?
No, just in
No.
case.
I'll just keep them. Oh, fuck!
It's on still.
I know.
Are you gonna do anything with your watered down wine?
What do you need?
The Moscato.
You can drink it.
You just told me the drink.
I
thought
said
that
you
was the-
can. Do you want it?
I might.
Okay. I mean, Violet gets dibs.
Well, at least it wasn't my real name.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
Listen, before I drink anything else that has alcohol content in it, I'm going to finish this goddamn bottle.
It's
Is
only
that like
an-
one more shot?
Yeah, it's like one more shot.
All thanks
So
to
take
me.
a look in a book. Ah. La la la, I am Lord.
That song reminds me of Schoolhouse Rock.
What's the song about the bill?
I'm
just a bill
That's
on
okay.
Capitol Hill. I don't know the rest of the song.
Yeah. Dude, that was like around when my dad was a kid.
Yeah.
Like it
I
kinda,
grew up on that.
It kind of blows my mind. Like, I want to show my kid, if I have kids, like, I'm still really on the fence whether that's going to happen.
That's okay, you're 19.
Yeah. Shut up, dude. I get really defensive about that, so
I know.
Don't.
I know you do because we've talked about this before.
But, like, I would, like, be so excited to show them all the things that, like, I've, like, was into as a kid, and they're going to be super old.
That's the best part.
It's going to be, like, my mom, or, yeah, it would be, like, my mom or my dad showing me something from, like, the 80s, or, like, I think about it more if I'm, like, a grandmother eventually, and it's, like, I show them shit that, oh my god, grandma was into this when she was, like, fucking our age, and it's, like, from now. That would be like watching Casablanca with, like, your grandma.
Yeah, you get to watch them experience all the joys of life like it's their first time, because it is. And you kind of, like, secondhand get that childhood joy of experiencing new things from them.
And it's, like...
It's a lovely thing, and... yeah, that's all I'm gonna say.
It's really awesome, but there's so many things you could, like, where you could go wrong. And it's, like... I know...
Nobody's perfect.
I know if you waited until you got all your ducks in a row, like, you would never cross the street. Like, I get that. You're never going to be 100% ready, but, like, there's a lot of things that you do have to have, like, emotional stability and maybe, like, a house and a career and, like, if you want to do it single, sure, why not? But if you are, like...
No, don't do it single.
Okay, well, if whatever way, you know, you have to lock down a lot before you even, like, take the steps to, like, have a child.
Exactly.
You know, and, like,
well, what I'm saying is that the most important thing is that you have both parents there, because A, you can share the burdens, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to have one person who's overworked, stressed, and, you know, going crazy.
Yeah.
And B, you give those children a role model from both sides of the aisle, right?
Yeah.
If you have just a woman or just a man raising the children, well, imagine being a little boy growing up and never having a dad to, like, show you any of those things that only a guy would show you, right?
Okay.
Or the other way around.
Like,
you know?
I
It's
feel
like you're just depriving the child of something.
Yeah, I get it, but, like, I feel like it's different in childhood. Like, I feel like the older you get, the more important it is to have, like, both parents, like, more people in your life who are, like, role models and parental figures. And you get more as you go along, but I feel like specifically, like, your mom or dad is really important for your, like, formative years, the years between, like, middle school and high school. But, like, as a kid...
No, before that.
Okay, well, like, let me finish my thought. When you're in elementary school, or when you're, like, super, super young, there's, like, a lot of things you can learn from your parent that's, like, even just one parent that's valuable, and it doesn't, like, any woman could, like, most women I know how to, like, do the things that, like, a guy would know how to do and know how to teach his son and shit like that. Like, you know, I've known, like, a lot of my friends who...
That's not how it works.
Okay, well, you don't have to comment before I'm done. I'm just saying, like, I know a lot of my friends who, like, were raised just by their mom.
Yeah.
And, like, she taught them how to shave, how to do all this stuff, and, like, maybe she got married later on and they had a father figure, but, like, I don't really think it's fair to dismiss how, like, single parents, I feel like they can have just as good of, like, raising... I'm, like, not articulating it well enough, but, like,
it
they're
might
gonna...
be possible.
Yeah.
There might be some, you know,
well, that's the thing,
tiny fraction of the population which is capable of delivering that.
Yeah.
But when you look at it statistically, people that are raised by single parents, single mothers specifically, are the most likely to be impoverished, in prison, have mental illness, like every bad thing in life possible. It is statistically more likely if you came from a single parent household, especially a single mom.
I hear that, but I feel like you need to sort of really analyze the factors that go into that. Like, I'm not saying that...
Certainly, but I mean, just look at the African American community.
Like, that if you have
where fatherhood
a single...
is so missing, and it's destroyed them.
I wasn't done talking.
I said something valuable.
Okay, I'm not saying you didn't. I'm just saying... I feel like you have to think of the factors that go into it. Like, of course, like, if somebody... I'm speaking specifically on people who choose to be single mothers or fathers, and they're ready for it. Like, they went through their lives and they're like in their 30s and they choose to be a single parent. With a lot of those statistics, they're specifically like they're taking in all kinds. Like a lot of those people who happen to be single parents are usually included in those statistics. Those are people who were abandoned by the father, or they were abandoned in some way by the other parent, or it was like an accident. They're like, of course, more likely to come from low income housing, like low income areas, and they're obviously going to have like in those areas like a lot of drugs and a lot of crime. So I think like yeah, what you said was valuable, and it like kind of ties into that. But I'm talking specifically about those people who like go throughout their lives and they choose to do it alone, like they choose to.
Yeah.
Those people are very rare, like just as a qualifier, and B, even if you adjust the statistics so that you're only looking at people at the same income level for the whole family, if you're looking at people for the same income level for the whole family, the people that come from a single parent household do much worse in every category of life. They just do. And it's not like you might say it's mean to say that, but it doesn't really change the fact that people need those dual role models in their life. Maybe there's some other way which is better than that even, but what I will say is that having a single parent who has to take on all the responsibility and only has half of the gender specific experience, no matter which way you cut it, right? That is still going to be a negative influence no matter how many qualifying positions you put on top of it. It just is a setback, no matter what.
You know what I think is really interesting? I think like group living is something that like I think about a lot.
You better not be talking about polyamory or I'm going to kill myself.
I'm not talking about polyamory. I'm talking about people all living together under one house. Like
like community?
Yeah, like communal living.
Communal living is a great thing, and the fact that it's completely disappeared is a terrible thing.
I don't think it's completely disappeared, but like
where has it?
No.
It hasn't.
Okay, well give me a second. Oh my god. We're like talking, we're not debating. I'm just saying I brought it up because I think just because you come from a two-parent household, it doesn't mean that you're going to have like good parents. Like people can fall short, like even from a two-parent household. Like just because you have like both gender-specific things, it doesn't mean that parent is around a lot. Like I feel like it would be really good to have more communal living, because when you have just like two parents in that classic sort of American idealistic lifestyle, like a mom, a dad, like, you know, like someone goes to work and someone stays home and raises the kids, and now
traditional nuclear family.
And like now it's more like both parents they have to work to afford to like you know, bring in stuff. And when you're in a house where like you're sort of rely on like one parent at a time because you're like shifting all the time, it's difficult. And if you like live in with like people like where if you can afford a babysitter and stuff like that, or you have like somebody else to watch them, but like traditionally it's sort of, it also breeds like, I don't know, like abuse, I guess. Like there's not more it's just like two people alone with like the like making all the decisions for like their children, like like just two people or like one person. So I feel like it's more important to like have several adults sort of like teach them and watch them and like know what's going on, you know? Like I think that's really important. And it's really cool because like in big families you see that dynamic of like all the kids running around together, and they're like relying on each other, and they're like capable of being like, oh, like go out and do your thing. But there's multiple people to turn to when you need like advice or something. Why do you keep doing that?
Well, I'm just saying whenever you're done I like to talk.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So first I like to say, of course I'm talking about statistical likelihood, which means that of course like at one end of the spectrum you're gonna have bad dual parent households which produce like unprepared and unsuccessful kids, and at the other end of the spectrum you're going to have like the best possible single parent household which is going to produce a better kid than otherwise, right? But on the other end of the debate, I will go out until the day I die hating suburbs, because suburbs completely remove community from everybody's lives. And so when you talk about communally raising a child, that is factually impossible in the modern American suburb. Because every home is like a fortress.
Yeah.
It's got a fence around it. You don't walk on someone else's property,
Yeah, like
or else you want to
yards.
get shot at.
Yeah.
And you never even talk to your neighbors in most circumstances. Back in like the 40s and the 50s, the suburbs were nice because all of the people that were living in the suburbs were educated within communal living, where they were still talking to their neighbors and living as a community.
Yeah.
But when you educate people within the suburban landscape, they are educated to never talk to the people around them because they're completely isolated by these small, parceled out homelands, which they're not basically ever allowed to cross into the other ones or see the people that live in the other ones.
Yeah.
Like when you compare that to old city living, like, yeah, everyone had like tiny amounts of space to live in, but that was just the amount of space which was private to them. All of the space around them, which was considered communal, because they're not going to say like, hey, get those kids playing in the street off the street, like that isn't our land. Who gives a fuck? The kids are out playing in the street, let them go have some fun, right?
They do the same, it's like the same thing with like getting calls. Like if I get a call from somebody that I don't know, I don't answer it. Like if you get a call like on the house phone or something, like, and you don't know the number, you usually just don't answer it. Or like a private caller, like unless you know who it is, or like if somebody walks up to your house and like knocks on the door, you're gonna like, it's so weird, but I've had like my little brother and I, we just like hide. We literally do that, or like we pretend not to be home so they'll just go away and we won't have to open the door. Like it, even if it's just like, we just don't like opening the door. Like we don't like, it's really the same in like a lot of other families I've seen. Like you.
Oh yeah, of course.
You don't go and like just open the door. It's weird.
Yeah, growing up, that was like the number one rule if I was gonna stay home either by myself or with my brother.
Yeah.
No answering the door for anybody.
That is a byproduct of the suburban lifestyle. Because when you're isolated from people, when you don't talk to them on a day-to-day basis, then why would you ever trust them? You know? Why would you ever say like, oh, if someone comes up to the door and asks a question, sure, it's okay to go talk to them.
Yeah.
Like, if you talk to the people that you live around on a daily basis, then you wouldn't have any problem with talking to the people that are in your neighborhood, right? But when you don't have that day-to-day contact with the people that are in your community, then you're not going to have any level of trust with the people that are in your community with you.
Yeah.
You're basically going to treat them like they're a total stranger and a possible member of a hostile tribe, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Like you have no idea who they are, and for all you know, they could be people that want to do you harm.
Yeah.
But if we were actually living as a community and talking to people that we weren't familiar with on a daily basis, right? Then that would make us change our minds. That would make us think not to assume that someone is a total unknown or a possible danger, but rather to assume that because we have contact with these people, we find out that, yeah, like 95% of the time, they're not that people.
Yeah.
They're just people like me. If we had those contact with strangers on a regular basis, then we wouldn't automatically assume the worst like we do today with stranger danger.
Yeah, but how do you like sort of like reinitiate that? Like how do you get that sense of community back with like your neighbors? Like I know my neighbors, I guess, from like across the street, but I've never really like talked to them. Like it's like the way I described it in like Jerusalem Cherries, it was just like, yeah, he knows them by like name, but like they're more like coworkers, if anything. Like they're not friends or people you like hang out with.
Right.
I don't know. If I was a parent, I think I would teach my kids stranger danger too.
Yeah.
These days, yes. That's what I'm saying, is that it's a product of the system that we currently live in.
I guess it's a product of the system, but I think it's a product of a lot of other things, like TV and the information that's like you have access to. Like now, like turning on the news, listening to the news on the radio and stuff, like you would hear about things like in your area a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But now with like nationwide things, you just hear about like awful things that happen all the time. And like there's so much that has happened within the past 50 years. I think just an element of distrust. Just
Certainly.
all the time, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
and TV.
You can't trust people. Like, it's just weird.
TV is basically a substitute for social contact. Because if you were to live in the suburbs and not have any media, like social media or the internet or TV or radio, you would basically just be sitting there staring at blank walls for hours upon hours every day.
Yeah.
And you'd probably want to kill yourself very quickly. Like, the TV and every other form of entertainment is basically a substitute for the human interaction, which is missing from our communal lifestyle. So we put on essentially the noise and sights that other humans produce to fill the void from the fact that we never actually talk to or see other people in our day-to-day lives. Like, as outside of the very small communities of the people that we work with or go to school with,
Yeah.
we don't see anybody, basically.
Yeah, we don't. We don't
We
really
don't.
talk to anyone. It's actually, maybe that's why I don't like silence.
That's
probably just it.
That's a very valid proposition.
Like, you don't meet anyone, like, you end up marrying. Like, it's really rare that you would have, like, one of those meet cute moments that they call it, you know?
No.
Like, it's very rare that would happen where you wouldn't meet them, like, either in college or, like, in school, like, at work, or if you have I guess in club, but, like, other than that,
Yeah.
like, it's very rare that you would, like, ever go up to someone, I was talking, I think it was either you or, like, it was someone, I'm gesturing to Violet, fuck. We were talking.
That's not even her actual name.
It's a nickname.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway,
Oh,
I was saying how, like, you're
Yeah,
not supposed
right.
to take girls home from bars, but, like, where else are you supposed to meet them?
The
Yeah.
library.
In the library.
The grocery store.
Bronwyn. This is my girlfriend, Bronwyn.
See, you used to be able to talk to people at the grocery store, but now it's just like, leave me alone. I came here to get my cheese and
No,
get the fuck
actually,
out.
I used to work at a grocery store, and it was actually
Well, if you
surprisingly.
work there, that's
No,
different.
yeah, but, like, there's still people who come in all the time, and, like, you know them. They're regulars.
Right,
Like,
that's
if you
different.
live somewhere and you're, like, an adult and you go to, like, a certain place all the time, like, you have to. You're gonna eventually, like, especially, it'll probably be if you have, like, a set schedule, it'll be at the same time, and it'll be with, like, the same people.
Right.
So, obviously, you're gonna make some sort of, like, oh, hi, I needed this, and it's like, oh, shit, hi, like, I know you by name.
I'm not suggesting that there isn't any form of community present
I know.
these days. I'm saying that the, like, communal lifestyle, the day-to-day stuff, like, in your neighborhood, around where you live, that's what's gone. And a while ago you asked, like, how would you change that, right? Like, it's a really difficult proposition. But I have a pet theory, something that I've been thinking about for a while, and that's that residential and commercial zoning needs to go. Because the way that things work nowadays is if something is a residential zone, there is nothing but houses. And each of those houses are completely separate from the ones adjacent to it, right? So I don't want to make things blend into one another because that's never going to happen. If it's your property, you're probably going to end up putting a fence up, and I'm not going to blame you for that. But imagine that if on your street where you live there was a cafe or a convenience store or a gas station. There was some kind of impetus for people to come onto that street that weren't the people that live there and to spend their time and do some business. If our neighborhoods were structured in such a way where these residential and commercial areas were mixed rather than completely segregated, then public and private lifestyles would have to converge, even if it was in a limited fashion. So I think that if we had no difference between residential and commercial zoning, I think that we would come in contact with people in their everyday lives a lot more frequently than we do now. Because right now, like, the only people that you're going to see at the store are other total strangers that are just there to do their business and then leave. But if those commercial areas were in a residential area, then you might see some of those residential people that just live in that area every time you go there. It would completely change the dynamic of the public spaces. Because someone could be walking down the street to go to the cafe rather than suspiciously walking in front of your house, possibly sizing it up for a raid. Like, I just think it would change things totally. if we lived in spaces which were more public rather than private.
It would be interesting, but I mean, I'm not really sure. I think it would have to be like for that to happen, like communal living more often, like meeting more people. I feel like something else would have to change because I don't really think.
I'm not that person. My home is my private space, and it's like where I go at the end of the day, where I feel totally safe and relaxed.
Yeah.
And it's somewhere that I feel comfortable relieving my stress. And if I were to go home at the end of a long day and live right across the street from some public place where there is a bunch of people that I don't know and don't trust, I wouldn't feel totally safe and comfortable in my own home.
Yeah.
And I think that's a problem.
I just
So
like.
I don't have any problem with the way that things are now.
I really like. I feel like, since we've been living in like on through the campus,
Mm-hmm.
like it's weird to go back to living. Like it's weird because when you go back home, it's not really your home anymore, and when you come back here, it's like it feels sort of like home, but it's not yours, and it's still like I can't customize it to my own like as much as I'd like to. I don't have the same freedoms. Like if we were living at Fremont and we were like had our own rooms, like I could smoke out of my own window or like do whatever it was that I would, because I'm an adult, and it would be, I'm just so excited because it's finally going to be that, like, my own space, like a private area that, like, I've really missed, like, you don't realize you don't have that anymore. Like, it's weird, because, like, your parents' house is, like, you're moving out into the world, like, slowly, like, one little step at a time, but, like, I feel like that's, like a step up, like a milestone. Like living in your own apartment.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I'm like so excited for that.
Me too.
Like I can't wait. I have to like save up and, really get a job, but I think it'll be really good.
I think a good way to analyze it is to think about hospitality. Because back in the day, if a stranger came to your house and asked if they could, like, I'm going to such and such place, I've been on the trail for 30 miles today, and I really need a place to stay. That most homes would probably take in that person, even if they didn't really have a place for them to stay,
That's
right?
something that happens in, like, I always forget. Like, if you read that in a story, like, way back when, like, like a young, like, wanderer, or, like, an explorer or something has wandered into the village, and he's staying at that house, like, because somebody, like, took him in, and was definitely like, oh, okay, yeah, come here. Like,
that's the kind of trust which is missing these days.
It's weird.
Like, I just think that if we lived in contact with strangers more frequently, I think, honestly, what we've established is, like, some level of communal xenophobia. Because you
That's
meet...
an interesting way to put it.
Yeah.
Communal xenophobia.
Because you meet someone, instead of thinking, like, oh, this is a fellow countryman or a fellow person from for my community. You think of them instead as a total unknown.
Yeah,
like
and
a possible
scares
threat.
People. That's like
Yeah,
the number
it's
one
scary.
fear.
It's scary because you don't trust these people, and you think that there could be something wrong with them.
I feel like the entire subreddit Let's Not Meet is like specifically why people have communal xenophobia. Like all those stories that like Violet and I have read. It's like crazy. Like there was this person who was telling the story how her and her mom way back when were like she was a kid and they were driving along this road and there was this guy who had his like arm in a sling and she stopped, and she was like, oh hey, are you okay? Do you need any help? And he was like, well, my arm's in a sling and my tire, I've blown it flat and I need to get like the tire off and put the other one on. Like I can't do that with my arm hurt. And her mom just like got a really weird vibe from the guy, and so she was like, oh, I'll call a tow truck when I get into town, and then she left. And as she was driving away, she didn't tell her daughter until like years later, but like in the rear view mirror she could see him take off the sling and put it in his car.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even hurt.
Yeah,
And
you
it
told
was
me that one.
and that turned out like that guy that she had met and saw and talked to was Ted Bundy.
Oh god.
And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like that shit, as like somebody who's a criminology major, that's why I'm terrified of other people, and like all
Yeah.
of those things you think about, like on the back of your mind, like you have to be wary. Like that's the thing. Way back when, you didn't hear about people who were like slaughtered by someone in the news.
You're
Like
right.
you didn't hear about that shit because like that would make you think twice about like letting some random stranger into your home. Like I think about that shit 24/7.
Yeah.
You're partially
Especially
right.
when I'm off campus.
Exactly.
Like it's like you're always like holding your pepper spray in your hand or like
Exactly. And like
yeah.
every time I'm with my family, talking to my family, whether that be like Skype or just over the phone, like it's always when we say goodbye, it's always be careful, stay safe, like don't go anywhere by yourself, and like things like that. That's just what I've grown up hearing,
Yeah.
and so that's just what seems natural.
Yeah.
To always be wary and cautious of other people.
Like you have to be.
And that's not to say necessarily that when you see another person, it's immediately, oh, don't trust this heinous shrew because I don't know who they are. You know? Sometimes it's just a gut feeling.
Yeah.
And like I'm that kind of person, like I'm saying all of this like, oh, like strangers are bad.
Yeah.
And like be careful everywhere. But I'm also that kind of person who like when I'm with people at night sees another person coming our way and I'm smiling at them and like, hey, how's your night?
Yeah.
Whereas everybody else is like no, don't
Yeah.
talk to that person. That's
It's
a
like,
bad person.
I remember I can just call her B, I guess.
Uh-huh.
When like we went to like clubbing that one time and we were coming out of it, like somebody said something to me and I was like, what? And I like kind of laughed at it. And she was just like just talking to like the guy, like he wasn't gonna start anything. I was just joking around.
Uh-huh.
And she was immediately just like, dude, you're gonna get yourself hurt if you just talk to these fucking people. Like you like need to be so much more careful. And I was just like, okay, one, I'm not 5. Like I can talk to someone and I'm fine. But like it was
Thanks, Mom.
yeah, it kind of reminds me of that. It's like yeah, like I would want to you don't want to think
Yeah.
like everyone's awful.
Exactly. Being safe and thinking
Oh, fuck, that's the
inherently
water.
that people are bad are two different things.
Yeah.
I
Like-
agree with that specifically, but I think both of you have kind of illustrated my point perfectly when I say that, like, I'm not trying to say that there aren't bad people and that you shouldn't have some inherent level of mistrust
Wait,
when you
Ron.
meet a new person,
Can
right?
I unplug your laptop?
Go ahead. What I'm trying to say is that if we talk to strangers and we're involved in our community on a daily basis, then our inherent assumption wouldn't be that they were the worst people, but that they were something similar to the people that we meet all the time. Because most people, like 99% or more, or maybe less, I don't know, some very large majority of the population isn't someone that you need to mistrust when you first meet them.
Yeah.
And that kind of level of mistrust is built up by the fact that we don't have anything to compare these horror stories that we hear about to. You hear about the worst possible things because they're so shocking and so terrifying and so deeply, concerning to our very way of life. When you see someone on the street, which we still have to do fairly frequently, despite how non-communally we live, when you see someone on the street, your first thought is going to jump to the things that you've heard about such meetings. And when you're talking about the media, that's of course going to be the most shocking things which could happen. Because those are the stories which are most successful in those circles because they're the most shocking.
Yeah.
And if we met with people on a daily basis who are also in our community, then we would have something to compare that to and something to adjust that to something to adjust our expectations specifically. Say like, those crazy motherfuckers are out there, but I've never met one,
I think it really depends on what the people like look like. Like if there's like any woman really, unless she looks like really haggard or like noticeably homeless or like is acting weirdly.
Uh-huh.
I'm obviously probably going to trust her. I'm definitely going to be like, oh, hey, like if especially like girls It's especially in like girl culture. Like if you see a girl alone and she's drunk, like outside of a bar, you go and help her and you put her in the group.
Exactly.
Like that's just sort of the thing you do. And I don't know, I think it really does depend on like the person it is. Most likely if it's like a guy, you're immediately going to be like, I can't remember who's, I've like heard this before, but like if there's a woman in a public park alone, you're not really gonna think of anything of her. You're gonna be like, oh, okay, she's just fucking like reading or some shit. Like she's just here, or like if she was just sitting there like at the playground, like you wouldn't really think of anything of it. But if you saw a guy there alone, like you would be really weirded out. Like if it was just like you and your little brother or something, or your brother, or whatever, at like a fucking park, and there was just one guy there with like he doesn't have any kids, you're gonna be really freaked out. But if you saw,
we'd probably just leave.
Yeah, you would just like leave. You wouldn't even like be around him. But like,
I agree with you 100% because honestly, like I'm a sexist. Like I think
like it.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of things different between the gender, and when it comes to
and
guys,
you piss me off endlessly.
yeah. Well, I mean, you're agreeing with me. When it comes to guys, like there's a lot of things which are
on that we agree on some things. I'm just saying. I was saying like we don't agree on a lot of things, but
okay, that's fine. That's fine. But when it comes to guys, like if I was a woman, I would inherently distrust men a lot much more than I would inherently distrust women, which is basically not at all, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying still aligns with that, because those people that are like dangerous among men or even just creepy among men, there are a statistically very small population, but you hear about them very frequently because of how excessive and how concerning the way that they act are. So, again, if you were in constant contact with a population of strange men, most of the times those interactions would go 100% normally and nothing would be a problem,
I don't
right?
know. I think you'd have to like counter. Yeah.
I'm saying that, like, again, statistically, interacting with guys is much more risky for a woman than interacting with other women.
Yeah, of course.
Always.
I think in
general, under any circumstances.
It's weird that it's hard to remember that they're like mostly good people in the world, even though like other than like little upticks which like CNN and like Fox News like to like jump on and like scare old white people with, are like not even just violent crime but just crime in general has been on the decline since the 70s. Like it's been on a very strong decline, and like it's always really funny to me how like I'm still always just so like paranoid about other people, and yet it's always difficult to remember like, oh no, most people are like pretty chill, like nothing's gonna happen,
right,
unless you're looking for trouble. But
right, I mean, like you turn on social media and what you see like most days as opposed to not is people saying like, look out ladies, there's this dangerous person roaming around, or there's like human trafficking is on the rise,
well,
or some kind of
a lot of human trafficking.
I know there is. I'm not trying to discredit that.
Yeah.
I'm saying that like this is something that occupies a very large percentage of the human attention span these days.
Yeah.
And it is something which is extremely rare, even if it is something that is around and something which may or may not be more likely than it was previously. It's something which occupies a large part of how we think about the people around us. And I just think that if we were in contact with other people, complete strangers, more frequently, then we would have something to compare these really bad news to. We would have something to compare it to. That's all that matters. Because right now we don't have something to compare it to. We just don't hear anything about the strangers and the other people in our community. And then when we go to the media, we hear about all the terrible things that happen across the entire country and the world. We hear about every worst possible scenario, and then we never have anything to compare it to. And I just think that if we had that something to compare it to, say like, everyone would eventually realize it's like, yeah, that's crazy, and I want to make sure that never happens to me or anyone around me. But at the same time, that's like a 1 in 500,000 chance of happening, because I've never seen it happen. But we don't have that experience to compare it to. And that's why people think it's not safe for children to play in the streets anymore.
Yeah. I know. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm just like you just keep like repeating yourself
I'm repeating myself.
in the same fashion over and over again.
Rant is over.
And I just like I can't like
I
can't
want us
keep
to live
hearing the
together and be
same
happy.
thing. I know, I understand that, but I've heard that like 6 times. Like if we had that experience to compare it to,
I'm
and it's
sorry.
like I not totally complete in like every single aspect of it, of your what you were saying, but I get it. Like I agree with you. I'm like, okay.
I'm sorry.
I know it's fine. I just need a moment. Emotionally. I just need a moment.
I gotta soak it in.
I gotta soak it in. Violet, could you tell us a story?
What kind of story do you want to hear?
I don't know.
Oh, did I tell you?
Tell us anything.
Do you know that my baby cousin talks to my nonna?
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, so I told you how we were freaking out this weekend, right? About like whether or not I was gonna go back to California this week, and just in case, you know. So I guess the reassurance that I got was, oh, don't worry. Adrian, like Nona told Adrian that he wasn't gonna die yet, that he'll be fine, and that like he's not ready, and like just I don't know. I got confirmation from a 10-year-old who can talk to my dead grandmother.
That's crazy.
Kind of weird.
It's supernatural stuff is always so interesting to me, cause like if I hear it like in the news or something, like I'm not gonna believe it, but if I hear it from someone I know like you, I'm gonna be like, oh fuck.
Yeah, nothing's happened since we've been in here though.
Yeah.
Which is okay. I'm okay with that.
I've gotten like the feeling that somebody's watching me, but it's usually when I'm just paranoid, and I know I've been like listening to too many like let's read, you know, let's not meet sort of subreddit stories, and it's just like I get all freaked out, and I'm just like, there was that one day I was in here, it was like really cloudy, and I was alone for like most of the day, and I was just like, because I think you had gone somewhere for like a really long time, like you didn't return until like 9, or no, it was like 8 or something, and I just remember listening to a lot of like those stories and like reading them, and like I was listening to the like
Jen and Julian.
Yeah, the Jen and Julian podcast. They were talking about like skinwalkers.
Oh yeah, I remember. I don't remember what I was doing that day, but you're right, it was a late night.
I just remember like they were reading ghost stories and shit like that, and there was one where she was talking about like a ghost experience she had.
Yeah, that's when they started talking about the exorcism.
Yeah, and I'm just like, sometimes I just remember like sitting there and looking into the other room and being like, dude, something is just gonna like throw something of mine at me from in there, and I'm just gonna like not even see it until it's like halfway near me, and I just remember like being super uncomfortable, but I think it was just me being weird for the most part.
I always psych myself out with things like that, 'cause I really can't handle it. Like, I don't fuck with ghosts.
Yeah.
I don't fuck with anything like that.
I've never actually played like a Ouija board.
I would never.
Like, I get so curious though. Like, sometimes I want to. Like, but then that would just be me doing it yourself, and you're not supposed to.
And you wouldn't be doing it in here.
Yeah. Like, no. Yeah. Like, even like my mother, like she was like, yeah, no, like even from a young age, don't ever bring that shit in here.
Yeah.
Like, you're not bringing it in here. Don't do that. Like.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I don't know. It could be bullshit, but it could not be. I don't know.
That could not be, like, it might.
I don't know what I believe.
Like, if there's a chance that like any of that shit could be real, like all those experiences, like I don't want to fuck with that. Like, if there's any chance that that could happen to me, no. Why would I do that?
Exactly. I'm not a masochist.
It's like, it's similar. Like, you don't get the same payoff you do as like going on like a ride or like the zipper or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get like adrenaline rush and like fun, and it's like, oh well, like, you know, like there's the tiniest chance that like something in the ride could break, but like you're still gonna do it, you know.
Yeah.
But like not with a Ouija board, you're not gonna like. That's not exciting at all.
Danger ups.
It's gonna take a long time, and you're gonna play like alphabet soup with like something you can't see, and like that's the slowest like texting, like that's so like one letter at a time.
Yeah.
Dude, if people like, no, if there was a way you could get like just straight up messages, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I don't fuck with that. Well,
Ouija boards
medium.
are fake and gay.
Okay.
Okay. You're not gonna change my mind.
I'm not gonna play with
Change your mind about what?
Not
Well,
wanting-
wakeboards.
Yeah, like not doing that. Like I would never like. Okay, I say never, but like sometimes I just get so curious.
I would never do it ever.
I know, like I wouldn't want to. Like you're just not. It's just I don't want to. If there's any chance weird shit like that could like I'm just not. I'd
fucking with
rather
that
not.
shit.
Plus, it's not even like a fun game.
It's
just,
not.
like,
It's
why
just
would you-
fear. The whole time.
Why would you play that? Like it's just weird and like it's slow and it's not even fun. So
It's not
it's
fun.
not really worth the risk of like some weird shit happening to you
Yeah,
in your
no,
house.
thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Do you mind if I take a hit of your pen?
No, go ahead.
Just like to ask.
Wish you could smoke in here.
And I don't have the balls anymore to just go out on the balcony where anyone can see.
Yeah, also it's 15 degrees outside, so
Oh yeah.
don't open the door.
15, really?
About.
Shit.
But oh, it didn't come out.
Preheat it. Press it twice and then wait like a couple seconds. That's how I like to do it now.
Yeah, that was a hit.
I've never seen it hit. Like, have you really been around people like smoking weed? Oh,
Yeah.
well, other than me.
Yeah.
He does go to college.
Hey, let me let you in a little secret. You're not special.
No, I mean you're like supposed to be going into like the military, so you're usually
Or something.
Yeah, you're usually around people who aren't allowed to smoke or do any drugs like that.
But that
That's
doesn't
what
mean that that's the only people that I'm
Smells
allowed.
like berry.
I
No.
just keep thinking of that hit I took out of that veggie straw in that video and like how big it was, and I'm
That
just
was
like,
a large boy.
it was just like, and then I just went back to talking.
Yeah.
That's what blows my mind. I'm just
That's
like,
how you know.
That was that. We have to go camping. It would be so fun over spring break.
Okay.
Like just that and just having.
Yeah,
a
we were
good
talking
time.
about going to Santa Barbara, huh?
Yeah, that'd be
Because
so
it's
much.
really beautiful up there.
Yeah.
Santa Barbara? Where do you go camping around Santa Barbara?
It's a beach.
Yeah, but
You can camp at the beach.
that's like okay.
And the beach is pretty.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
And it's not campland because it's free.
Yeah. It's free. You just have to like, just if you were smoking like flower, you'd have to be just in your tent. you roll out of your tent. It's just, and everyone's just like, "Hey, you okay?" Yeah, I'm fucking meditating. It's just like,
I'm fucking meditating.
it's just on, or like, just
I feel
on the ground.
targeted.
Just like on
You'll
the
have your beers, Ron.
Just fucking. Oh. That's what I thought campland was gonna be like.
Please
Like, I
tell me
thought
they're not gonna be light beers.
my tent got fucked up,
Oh.
so I couldn't be in my tent. I just slept in.
Ooh, ooh.
I could just cut that out. I knew like one of us was gonna say it. No, so we just slept in the car, but my tent got like the tent poles weren't the right ones. We got like it didn't have tent poles, and we got
Uh-huh.
replacement ones, but
Oh
they
my
weren't.
god.
So it was like a sleeping bag,
Yeah,
but a really uncomfortable one.
they wouldn't like work for it, and it sucked. So I got there and like immediately I was super paranoid. I'm just gonna cut that out.
Shit.
Oh, what should we call him? Austin?
Dad ass pina.
Dad has pina. That's his. We're just gonna.
Phallus.
Okay.
That was serious? Yes.
I feel like his dick has to be of some repute in order for him to call you, or for you to call him.
I
No,
mean-
it's just because it's
I don't know. Have you seen his girlfriend?
Yes. Right?
Yeah, and they've been together for like almost 6 years.
No
Okay.
way.
I'm serious.
6 years?
Yeah, they've been together since they were like 15.
Maybe
That's
she
crazy.
blew
16.
up.
I don't
What?
know. I don't
That's
know.
crazy. But
She
yeah.
blowed up.
I think that's like good for them. You
Yeah.
know? Like that's not easy.
They're
Fuck.
so young.
Right? There's like ups and downs to that, but like I totally get it.
That's crazy. I thought maybe like 2 at the most. But
No.
6, goddamn.
Phallus, he.
He's
was-
a faggot.
What was I saying? What was I talking about?
Campland.
Campland. No, Phallus. Phallus immediately came over. Phallus immediately came over and he was just like, yo. He fiends pretty hard, but like usually he'll like ask you afterwards, like, hey, do you want me to pay you for
he's
like
nice
your
about
weed?
it.
Like, it's sweet. Like, you know, I'm not gonna. He's my friend, and it's like drugs, recreational.
Woo.
Drugs are always like more fun with like people and like friends.
Yeah.
So
it's
it's
not
like
fun doing them by yourself.
yeah. So it's like
Drugs are gay.
It's like honestly, I'm happy to like share them with you, dude. Like we had a
The
good
more
time.
the merrier, am I right?
But like I was so paranoid like the first night because he just came over and he was like, "Am I hit that?" Because I had immediately. It was so funny. I jumped out of the car and immediately started like before after we like did like you know we got settled in, but as soon as it was like chill, I got on it and then like then like a few. I mean Phallus fought.
I didn't even notice.
Phallus came over. A few other people, you know, we did our shit, and you know I got like terribly high, like so high
Way
that like
too high.
I kept like talking Ryan's ear off.
As you do when you're high.
Yeah, and I remember asking him, I was like, what was I even saying? Like, I don't even remember. I just remember, like, laughing and, like, oh my god,
I just
and
remember my mouth moving a lot.
yeah, and he was just like, dude, I don't even know. I couldn't keep up with you. There was just too much. It was too much you were saying, and I didn't understand. And then, yeah, I thought it would just be, like, the entire trip, me in my tent, like, you know, it was, like, a private thing, like you come in and then you go out and like no, it wasn't even like that at all. No one cared.
Yeah.
Like, we were openly in the middle of the day in California just smoking
around like families.
Yeah, these like fat blunts and weed, and there's all these like RVs around us, and it's just a ton of like kids who may or may not even be old enough to drink, and we weren't. And we were just openly drinking. We had like Coors Lights in like the hot tub by the pool, and like, no one cared. It was so amazing. It was so crazy.
Oh, the hot tub would be so nice right now.
I don't know. It's 15 degrees outside.
Oh god.
And that
I
would
don't
make
think
it
you'd
even
be
better.
okay.
I wouldn't even be able to go in. I'd just be sitting outside.
Well, the only way we would get there by now is like Ubering or like walking, and
not
like
walking.
I'm like
God no.
fuck. How far in are we? It's been 1 hour and 51 minutes, so we're close to 2 hours. What?
You asked how far in I was.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Mission accomplished.
Yes, ma'am.
Ron was showing the empty bottle of Jose
Jose Swearvo.
Cuervo.
Cuervo.
Swearvo!
Cuervo.
Okay, sorry. Oh.
I mean, actually, but if you want to say it wrong,
I do want to say it wrong.
then Swearvo it is.
Like the way I say La Quinta.
La Quinta.
La Quinta.
Bitch, what the fuck? Where'd
Yeah.
you grow up?
In California. Northern California.
And then
like,
how long have you been in Phoenix?
I don't know, like a while. Like 6 years? 7? 8? Oh, wait.
So like half your life.
No, wait. No, it's like 7 years.
The whole time I've known you.
Regardless, you should know.
Were you
I
there
took French
before
in
high school?
Like, yeah, a little bit.
Like in middle school?
Yeah, like for 8th grade.
8th grade?
Like some of.
Okay, so
like
you've been
6
in
months
Phoenix
ago.
for 2 more years than I've known you.
Yeah. We didn't really know each other in freshman year.
That's what I'm saying. 8th grade, freshman year, didn't know you till sophomore year.
Well, I was also in like this winter break, too. Oh wait, no. Well,
That's not a year.
No, not winter break, but like the spring semester of like, blah.
Sophomore year?
Yeah. It's crazy. I don't really remember knowing you sophomore year though. Like I really don't.
Yeah, I'm retarded.
What do you mean?
I'm just remembering. I'm remembering very specific things.
It was speech and debate. We knew each other in like junior year.
I'm saying that we knew each other before speech and debate.
We were in like the same classes, like AP classes.
Yeah,
but
and we
really
talked.
Yeah, we did, but like
And we hung out a little bit.
I don't remember like hanging, like talking that much or hanging out. Like I remember specifically just like
Avoiding this retard.
I remember like Bernadette and like Lauren and Andrew. I don't think I have to crop their names out.
Those are very generic names.
Yeah, they're really generic names. No one's gonna know. Like there were several of those people. Like I was friends with several people named both those names.
Yeah.
Who wants to tell a story, like a life story or something?
No.
What do you mean by life story?
My mind is not in the right place.
I don't know, not your like entire life story. I just mean like a story, like a funny story, like about something. Like, give me a prompt. Give me something like to talk about. Ask something, I guess. Or just think of a theme. Or
No, the only thing I...
Unrequited love.
oh my god. The fuck is wrong with you?
We're not trying to be sad up in here.
Several things are wrong with me, but you did
God.
ask for a topic.
Violet, what was your topic?
Oh, I was just gonna say that, like, I don't know, for some reason, there's a lot of funny things that happen, but when somebody asks me for a funny story, my brain always immediately goes to me face planting on the lake. And I can't think of anything beyond
I
that.
think that was like one of
Face planting on a lake?
Yeah,
I think that
it was
one of
epic.
That was like one of the first like stories about your life that you like ever told me.
Yeah, it shaped me as a person.
It was just something that like something clicked that day. Just something snapped into place that just couldn't be undone.
Oh man.
You were just like, this is it. Fuck.
I found out I wasn't invincible that day.
That day, I looked death in the eye and I said, not yet.
I was only queen for 2 seconds before it was taken from me.
You like, I can see you like a young Violet literally just being like listening to Viva La Vida by Coldplay over and over again.
Oh, that's not the Viva La Vida I thought about.
I was thinking
What does that mean?
I didn't think about Viva La Vida at all. That's what it means.
Oh, fuck.
About living La Vida Loca.
Oh, that's a good song. I love that song.
Fuck me over here.
I was thinking that one where it was like a king losing everything and he's all
Yeah.
sad. That's like
The
all
one with
of
the
it.
dope Minecraft parody.
Yeah, the Minecraft
Oh yeah,
one.
which is crazy. It's actually like really, just I love that song. God, Jesus.
The other story that shaped me as a person, because there's only 2,
Yeah.
was the time, I'm pretty sure I told you about it, the reason why I'm arachnophobic.
Yeah.
Even though there's a giant spider on our door.
It's just like he's just a part of the family now. Like he's just.
We love Howard.
Yeah. He can't just like be laying out anywhere because we'll find him and not be thinking he's there and then freak out.
What?
You know, you don't want to like, you know, he's like, we like him, but like, we're not just gonna leave him anywhere where
I
we
feel
live.
like we'd be empty without Howard now. Like he's just a part of us.
I think it's pretty awesome that he's holding like a shotgun, like he's holding a red Solo cup.
Are you talking about the spider?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a brother.
he is, right?
He scared a lot of sorority girls at Mountain View.
Oh my god, those
Yeah.
were the best nights.
Those were awesome.
It was 3 in the morning,
If you can get someone
and all you
drunk
hear
enough,
from outside is just a faint scream,
Yeah.
and then they're like, "Fuck!"
if you can get someone drunk enough where they see that spider and they're genuinely terrified, that's a good night.
I feel like
I don't know, like.
at night
I fixed
he's
his legs
yeah.
at one point where his body was really close to the ground, and it actually genuinely terrified me, and it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah. Well, it's just like he's mostly black, and at night he looks just like a black thing
Yeah.
that looks like spider-like. You're gonna freak out,
When the
especially.
switch is on, his eyes light up.
Yeah. Oh, does that
He's
use batteries?
friendly. Yeah, the batteries are dead.
Oh, okay.
That's okay though.
What is something? I have so many embarrassing stories. Like, it always blows my mind. Like, it's I don't know how I devolved back into just like doing like comedic or humorous things, like in as like a not a defense mechanism, but just like my go-to thing when meeting new people instead of just being instead of just being like chill, because it's like, oh, I thought I was being charming by like accepting these like funny things, like embarrassing things that have happened to me.
Yeah.
But I feel like that usually goes for like if somebody brings up something embarrassing that happened to you, then you like
Oh yeah.
accept
Also
it
this.
and make a joke of it. You don't bring it up and then tell people about it.
It's like, what are you asking for at that point?
Like I remember telling, like my go-to thing was like, at like the kickback, everyone was really drunk, and I was telling them about this really animated story that was just honestly actually was really fucking funny. But it was just when I like peed my pants when I was 7.
Oh
yeah, just, like,
a classic.
so sad. It's such a sad, funny story.
Iconic cinematic experience.
Yeah.
A Val classic.
It's a performance. It's a performative art. But like it always blows my mind that like not everyone has like 1,000 stories to tell of like something embarrassing that they've done. Or like it's embarrassing to me, like something I may have said that like you just know was like the wrong thing to say.
A lot of those memories just disappear because nobody wants to remember them.
They just get blacked out.
Just totally repressed.
That's why I can't remember 7th grade or like 8th. Really.
Oh my god. Yeah, actually, if I wanted to talk about something embarrassing, it would just be 7th grade.
Oh,
As a whole.
On repeat.
I don't remember anything specific from 7th grade other than meeting my best friend, and I stopped growing then, so. Other than that, I think it was just as embarrassing as the rest of middle school was.
I think everyone's middle school years were embarrassing. Even the people who were like fine, they have so many embarrassing moments. I know.
7th grade was the year where I would genuinely claim the friend zone to be a real thing. That's how cringy I was.
Did you have a fedora?
No.
No, did you?
I did.
No.
But I got it before, like,
Oh my god.
that was a thing.
No.
Like, and it wasn't something that I wore on a day-to-day basis.
I was into it before it was cool.
I literally was!
Oh my god.
I literally was!
Oh,
I was
Jesus Christ,
a neckbeard hipster,
oh my god.
and the fedora existed as my quote-unquote travel hat.
Travel hat.
So I just wore it whenever I was going on a trip. And then when like the neckbeard meme came around and like all these faggots were wearing fedoras and getting roasted for it, I just quietly like suppressed that was ever a thing and that I ever owned
That
a fedora.
never happened.
I was like, nope, I wasn't one of those people.
Yeah, if you tell yourself
I wasn't
that,
cringy
then-
at all.
Let's see. That was just too many. It's like overloading my brain.
Maybe you should use another shot of tequila.
No.
Oh wait.
Yeah, it's gone.
There's no more tequila.
Tequila.
The wine is still on the counter. Also, the Chardonnay is down there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Unopened?
Yeah.
Well,
Very opened.
It's like half gone.
The Chardonnay has been penetrated.
Ew.
ew.
There's a good part of it left.
Ew.
I like how you said that in sync. That's good.
It's because it's gross.
Exactly.
No, you can't use that word for a lot of situations, no. It's a visceral word. Packs a punch.
I want to show us. You know, it's something weird that like I've done before. I like it. It was just like a weird thing that happened once, and then it happened twice, and it blew my mind. I was like, "Whoa, is this just something I do?" When I was like in 7th grade, and like in middle school, I had a terrible time because like there was this rumors where I went to middle school. It was like very like classic. It was just like people had rumors about them all the time, and it was just like a thing that happened that like most people heard about and knew about, and like it was embarrassing and it sucked And it only happened once, but that I was ever on anyone's radar. But like, everyone started like spreading this rumor that I was gay, and I remember being.
I wonder why they would do that.
Well, I'm about to get into it. I just like, I just got that like hot wash of shame and embarrassment, and I got like really repressional after that because I was like, I'm not gay. I don't like any girls at all. Like that's fucking weird, and because like, well, like you know, I wouldn't say it was weird, but I would just be like, no, I'm not. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just not, and I would get really flustered about it. Even though now I'm like super like, oh yeah, no, I'm super fucking bi. Like I've, you know, been around ladies before.
Sure you are.
But like, just fucking as a kid, that sucked, and it was because I would go to the like bus stop when I was. Like all throughout middle and high school, before I had a car, I like went to the bus stop to get to school, and
Yeah.
there was like other girls there usually, and I was just like really tired, and I like it was really early in the morning. I'm like just this fucking kid, and I was really fucking tired, and this girl like Dina or something like that, like something kind of like whatever.
Fucking Dina.
Yeah, I think that was her name. She like came up and hugged me for some reason. She was telling me about something. And, like, I went, like, you know, I hugged her back, and then, for some reason, since our, like, faces were, like, right next to each other, I, like, kissed her on the cheek for some reason. Like, I was just super fucking tired, and I just did that. And I, like, went back, and when I realized what I had done, and, like, it wasn't like I was attracted to her or anything, it was just, like, this girl I knew. Like, she just hugged me, and it was just, like, a response for some reason. And then I don't remember her, like, looking at me, like, weird or anything. I don't think she acknowledged it, but not, like, she was upset. She just, like, got on the bus, and, like, we didn't talk about it. And I pretended like it didn't happen, because I wasn't sure it did. And then all of a sudden, all these rumors came out about me that, like, people were still, like, telling, like, stories about me. And that, like, had never even happened, because it was really rare that I would even stay after school.
Yeah.
And then it happened again when I was in high school. My friend, who has like a really very specific name that's very like rare. Of course you would know. So like Nancy. Nancy came up and hugged me, and I was like, it was all throughout high school. I was like perpetually tired, especially like junior, senior year. I was just like running on caffeine and like being really like waking up tired. So I was like really out of it, and it was like lunch or some shit. And she ran up and she, like, hugged me for something. And I was like, I hugged her back. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, congratulations. And I kissed her on the cheek, too. And then she, like, went back and she was like, oh, yeah. And then she told me the rest of it, the thing. And then she, like, walked away. Like, she didn't seem perturbed by it in any way. But I remember just being like, what? Like, being really confused. And that was
Not
just...
quite sure knowing what just happened.
That was so weird. It was so weird. That's just something I was thinking about.
I'm sorry that you felt that way. I'm sorry that other people made you feel that way.
Yeah, but
Because I don't think that's how it should be.
What should be? Oh, the...
Like, I'm saying that, like, it shouldn't be inherently suspicious when a friend kisses another friend on the cheek.
Yeah. But I feel like that's something, like, you really work up to. Like, if you're friends with someone, like, that's something, like...
I'm not saying you should do it to strangers.
Yeah, I know. But, like, that was weird. Like, but that was middle school. Everyone had, like, an awful time in middle school. Like, no one, even if you were, like, really popular, like, you didn't have a good time in middle school.
The only reason I was even, like, moderately popular in middle school is because I was friends with, like, all of the druggies on campus, which is amazing, considering I've, like, never taken a drug in my life. And, like, I would just be, like, in fucking 7th grade, sitting next to people passing the blunt. And I'd be like, this is fine.
What the fuck?
That's crazy. Which middle school did you go to? Oh, yeah.
There was one time where I went to a public park, and all my friends were setting a trash can on fire, as you do.
Boys will be boys.
Right.
What?
Except it wasn't all males. And this black dude walked up to me, and he asked if I had any marijuana on me.
Boys
and
will
I
be
said,
held accountable for their fucking weird ass actions.
I said, No, you know, I'm not really about that. I'm just hanging out here.
See.
And he was
I'm
like,
a good noodle.
he was like, oh, I got it. You're one of those clingy white boys. I'm like, yeah, that's who I am.
Actually, yes, that's correct.
Yeah, that is accurate. God, we should probably turn this off soon.
Why would you say that?
Because I kind of want to take a shower.
Oh, okay. You kind of want to fall asleep in the shower for 6 hours.
I'm not that drunk. Actually, I feel like I'm more high than drunk.
It probably felt longer than it actually was.
Maybe. For reasons.
Do you guys want to keep talking?
Yeah.
Can I take a shower and you guys just take over?
Can I use the restroom first?
Yeah, sure.
Because there's only one bathroom.
I think you taking a shower would take too long.
I'll just be 15 minutes.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Did you pause it?
No, I didn't. Should we?
Yes.
Okay. I guess I can just cut it there. Okay, we're back from our really long break.
Really long
It was
break.
pretty long. I took a shower. Feeling great, refreshed.
I was surprised you came back from the shower.
Yeah, the last time the three of us were hanging out, we were drinking, and I died in the shower. I just needed to.
It had to
I
be
just
at
needed
least
to take a
an
shower.
hour and a half.
Oh, more than that.
It's like 2
Really?
hours. I fell asleep in there, I think.
How long was it?
I
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
definitely did.
Well, I remember coming out and it was like 3:43.
Yeah, I
It was
remember
like
going to
really
bed after
old.
4
I
that
mean, it
night.
was really late.
I don't remember how long you were in there though.
It was a long time.
Time is an illusion when you're drunk.
It really is. It like doesn't exist, and then you're like, oh, I'm tired. Oh, what?
You're pretending like time is an illusion all the time.
Buck.
I need to be higher for that statement.
I mean, it is.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah, I
sober.
know.
Because there's no instantaneous moments. Those are
I don't
something
even
that
feel
we just
really like
invent.
tipsy.
No, I'm sober.
Yeah.
Oh god, you're both sober?
Yeah.
I'm fucking plastered.
Really?
What do you mean, really?
It doesn't seem like you are.
I'm just.
I mean, I'm still a little high, but like
I'm not.
really.
I'm like 100% sober.
The reason that I seem like I'm not drunk is because I just drink too much.
Oh, well.
You should maybe cut back.
Well, it's a life skill.
Oh, okay.
I drink like a third of a bottle of Jose Suervo and I'm chilling.
Yeah, and he just ate. And he's
Oh,
had
okay.
like 4 glasses of water.
That's good.
Yeah, no, I haven't been like unsafe.
Yeah, you're fine.
I've been drinking some water. I ate a little bit. I'm good.
Anyway, this has been the show. One of us is not sober. Two of us are basically sober, if not completely sober.
That's not fair.
What do you mean?
It's not fair.
I don't want
You're
to.
the one who wanted to drink all
You're the
of
is
it.
one
great
who drank the rest of it. Like I don't.
do,
Great injustice.
do you... I don't think you understand.
Of course I don't. Just fucking around.
Probably would have died if I had as much alcohol as you.
Oh God, that'd be horrendous. I would be if
That's
like
so sexist.
I'd be
No,
that's
That's
literally
facts,
just like
son.
that's what we're just like you're like 6'4". Like
So?
she's like not even 5 feet tall and I'm like barely 5. Like I'm just over 5 feet tall. We're like our
Still.
bodies are a lot smaller. We
There's
don't have like
people-
testosterone and it's
There's
just like
people who are a foot short of me who have like a 1.5 times the total mass that I do.
okay.
So.
Well, we don't
Not
drink
it.
very often either, so I'm not doing that.
True.
That's insane.
You're always skinny as fuck.
We prefer the Mary Jane in this household.
Yeah, it's like
I will
Twizzlers
take
versus Red
the
Vines.
devil's lettuce.
I will partake of the devil's lettuce. I would prefer that.
The only salad I like.
Have you seen my 420 days skit about the devil's lettuce?
No.
Where I pretend to be like defending the good Christian neighborhood
I
from a
think
picture
I
of...
think you've like told me about it.
No, it's just like a little video.
I thought you told me about it. Have you? I don't know. Oh god. Okay, yeah, so yeah, it's what time is it?
It is 3:13 a.m.
Sick. Anyway, did anyone have any final thoughts? Thoughts for your thoughts. I am your co-host of the fucking. That was awful. I apologize sincerely.
Ron just wants to smash. I just want to play some Super Smash Bros.
Then play it.
Plug it in then.
Do it.
Yeah, but I want to play against myself. That's gay.
You were doing it the other day. That was like you were doing
No,
it
it was with
yesterday.
you.
No, you were doing it yesterday for a while before you you know.
Because I literally could not figure out how to make co-op work.
Okay, well I don't feel like playing. I just want to chill, you know, and like do my own shit.
Playing is chill.
I get so competitive. I like to win, and when I don't, I get really upset. Like I don't like not winning.
That sounds like a you problem.
Shut your goddamn mouth, Jeremy. I don't know.
I like how I've evolved from Ron to Ron Jeremy just to Jeremy.
No, it's just like I was trying to do that thing where like I call you by your last name, but it's
Yeah.
like it just sounds like your first name because it's like Jeremy, you know? Like it's
Funny
not
how
It
like
that
doesn't have
works.
the full effect.
yeah, you know, it's not like Martin or Smith or like I don't
Mine's
know.
a first name too.
I know, but like I've heard it more often as like last names.
Interesting.
Lopez.
Do you want to watch
Lisbon.
the Minecraft Let's Play of me when I was like 9 years old?
Oh my god. Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
Only if you're wearing your fedora.
Dude, we should just put a link in the description for this. When we do it on YouTube, we can just like link it.
No, you can't.
Yeah, I can.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't need your consent.
I don't need
Hey.
it's happening.
My 420 video, that's something you can see.
420?
Oh no. Is that
You need to pause it right now.
in my good Christian neighborhood?
You're not 9 there. Like, you're not a kid. You're
I
like.
said I was 9 in the Minecraft Let's Play. This video is from 2.5 years ago.
Oh my god. I was about to say, like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, like, you're intoxicated.
You're.
You are
you're a jackass.
unreliable.
Wednesday. Truly, this is dark times.
That's awesome. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh my
this is good
god.
shit. Look at that.
Wow. Could you turn it down a little?
No.
Please?
Hello, Casey and Casey. What's up? People, we are here in the land of reclaim. That's what we need.
Oh my
Look
god.
over here. No, dude, look
Wow.
over here. Doesn't this just like look cool for some reason? Because it right.
This is like really the early days.
Alright, well this is awesome. Oh my gosh, mushrooms. Wait, dude. Look, wait, come here. Dude, look over here too.
It's amazing how terrible every part of the quality of this gameplay and connection is.
It's- I can't like recognize your voice at all.
That's how long ago this was.
Yeah, I know, but I just
This was pre-puberty.
It's on like, what version of Windows is that?
XP?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Nothing.
How long is this?
Oh, dude, it's becoming dark. Here, wait. No,
12
follow,
minutes.
Follow me. Follow me now.
Are you want me to skip to the funny part?
Yeah.
Okay. This is in our house.
Wait, I'm gonna relog because apparently on your screen I'm lagging.
Yes.
Wait, do you even see me right now? I'm like right in front of you.
Wait for it.
What happened?
Oh my god!
So the connection was so bad that Austin comes up into this cave and he sees a creeper like walk up behind us and blow us to fucking smithereens.
Oh
He's like,
god.
"Oh my god!" like screaming, but the connection is so bad that I don't see it for like another 2.5 seconds.
Oh, that's so bad.
And so it was like a completely delay reaction to what just happened. And then I freaked the fuck out and close out entirely.
Where did he come from? I don't know!
Should we just end the podcast? Or...
Is it still going?
Yeah,
Oh.
that's what I'm like.
We are literally listening to my my
Yeah.
little kid self play Minecraft with my best friend. That is our podcast right now.
Okay, well, this has been Latchkey Kid and Gutter Girl. I'm Val.
I'm Violet.
I'm Ron Jeremy.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.